Hailing frequencies are open. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Shield Tomorrow, our Star Trek RPG show here on Geek and Sundry Live. This is the show where a bunch of me and my pals, we pretend like we're in Star Trek. And we do a pretty good job because we actually got the uniforms and the... Oh, damn it, I just broke Gina's reality.
What?
Oh my god!
Oh
This is a holodeck!
I need more coffee.
Although I think we should acknowledge that you are mixing genres today. Turn sideways. Yep.
You are totally raying it all up.
I switched up my fun buns today in honor of a special day today. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I'm also wearing space down here.
I'm
Hashtag I'm wearing space down here.
I'm supposed to wear
So
it's all in my nebula.
You know what? Every group
I don't know what that means.
Every group should have its Sam Riegel. Welcome, Bonnie. Welcome.
That means you're getting an Emmy.
Yeah. Congratulations. Let's be honest. We all knew that was going to happen, though. So, as y'all might have noticed, we are down to Hector today. Hector is out of town, so it's just going to be us kids kicking around in Star Trek, carrying on the Sally Ride legacy. Yeah.
I'm NBC.
Captain Sage.
Yeah, there we go again. Gift 2.0. So before we get started, there's not too many announcements today. The big one, of course, is that some of us are going to be at Gen Con. You're actually going to be able to catch us at Gen Con this year. This will be my first Gen Con. Gina's hoping she can go. Amy and I will be there for sure, and I believe one Bonnie and Xander will be there for sure.
Yes. One Bonnie and Xander.
One Bonnie and one
That's how you
Xander.
count.
The library. That's basically
A bard, a library bard of Bonnie.
Yes, there will be some barding taking place.
barding
So I'm going to be on the panel with you, Amy, which is going to be on the main stage from what I hear. Is that correct? I don't know. I've never been to Gen Con, so I don't know.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
That's so
I'm just going to crash it. I'm going to hide behind you. It's on Friday.
It's on, it's going to be,
That part I know.
yeah, GNS has so Critical Role, I think, is going to have their live show Friday. And then it's either before or after the live show, we're doing panels.
Oh, it's before, because I think...
It's before,
well,
you're right.
I assume they're doing theirs at night. I don't know.
I don't know.
Don't quote me on anything.
I don't know. It's pretty rad. So Gen Con's gonna be a lot of fun because I've never been, and it's like that's my crowd, and I've never been, so I'm really excited to go finally and meet some of my heroes. Because a lot of the people that crafted the RPGs that I grew up playing and wanting to storytell are gonna be there, so that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to having an episode of Eric Loses Their Shit, but before that happens, we need to have an episode of Sam Loses Their Shit.
What? No, what?
Yeah. So let me just crack this mofo open. Sorry if I'm out of frame here. I'm kind of tall. I don't know if y'all knew that.
I love your shirt.
I've got
I know, I
my
love
shirt.
that
Oh yeah, I'm wearing my
yeah.
quirks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just kind of eviscerating
Makes
this
me
back.
want to work for drive.
I mean, I play Rude, so I strongly approve of that.
Okay, there you go.
Really strong.
All right, I'm gonna bring this over to you.
Oh wait,
What's going on?
I don't even know.
you're gonna
Oh, it says
lose.
Twitch on the side of this, which I
You're,
don't hide
you're
pretty well.
Sam, and you're gonna lose your shit. That's what.
That's what's
Oh,
going
is that
on.
the...
So helpful.
Oh!
Ooh.
Yay!
I can see what's in there.
Whoa!
Yes!
Oh my goodness.
I have this impression that the community has a real investment in seeing Sam grow as an artist. Which y'all
shared by everyone.
Yeah.
I'm making many progresses.
Yeah,
So many.
In large part thanks to the support, both material and emotional of the social medias, for which I thank all of you out there, but also people who have been following this story know that I started a sketchbook back in August when I started this, and I lost that sketchbook a couple weeks ago, and someone got me actually, like, high-key, my favorite kind of sketchbook. The same kind that I lost.
What would you do if you opened it up and it was the sketchbook?
Whoa. That would have been awesome.
That's what they would do.
Oh yeah, I guess it wasn't as creepy as it did sound.
But actually, no, that would have been really creepy, actually. No.
Yeah, you're like, wait, no, I see where you're going
Wait,
with
I take
this,
it
Eric.
back. Reverse
I take it back. So who's that from? You got a letter?
Piper's?
Yeah.
It's Piper's twin.
Piper's twin.
Piper's twin.
Like it, guys.
Yep.
Piper's twin wins again.
To help create all your future masterpieces with, from Erica. Thank you so much, Erica the Strange.
Erica the
AKA Piper
Strange.
Strange.
Eric the Strange.
You have
Piper's
been
twin.
enabling my artistic improvement, and I appreciate it.
They kill it every time.
Elizabeth Dean
So good.
decided to gift me something.
As you should!
Which was, it's great because I guess people have been paying attention. I've had my eye on this one for a while, and I've been wanting to get it. I just never got around to it, and Elizabeth sent it to me today. So in honor of the 4th, In honor of the 4th, May 4th, I hereby
sweet.
present my BSG Galactica.
In your court
Thank
shirt.
you, Elizabeth. I love this hat so much. I've worn it for so long. You guys can get this at Seems Geeky, by the way, on Etsy, is where I found them. So right, or it's shopseams-geeky.com is where this came from. I love this.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Awesome.
This is like one of my favorite. I think people have caught on that I'm a huge BSG fan.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And
There are good reasons.
Only
we're
a
friends.
little.
We've
Yeah.
been in your games.
yeah, it's true. Oh, I'm gonna wear that one to con. That's gonna be good. Okay, I think we are actually gonna jump into the game tonight. So unless there's any other announcements,
Free comic book days tomorrow. Go to a shop.
free comic book day.
Time.
Free comic book day.
Free comic book days tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
I'm so excited!
That one doesn't count though, Sam.
Oh.
You gotta do it again. That one doesn't count.
All right, yeah, no. All right, cut.
Okay, and let's begin tonight's episode of Shield of Tomorrow. And then you just you elbow drop
you can fill
the
that blanket.
Vorta, and the Dominion bows to you. They just bow. The changelings all just bow.
Thanks for life.
Yeah, that was good.
What
That was,
happened?
you just missed the game. You weren't paying attention.
Yeah, we're
Oh
back.
no, I was looking at papers.
We've been playing for 3 hours. Honey.
I've been arcing
Hey,
myself.
I joined that fight.
We're so screwed.
So
Amy Dallin, why are you so good?
let's so real quick. So to give the audience a quick heads up, because of everything. So if you guys have been following the show for a while now, you probably know that we haven't really been bookmarking our level gaining very much, like advancing the characters. We do it when we remember to do it. The characters themselves have gone through quite a bit, so there's been plenty of opportunity for milestones all over this game. And considering the recent events and everything that's been building up, I went ahead and awarded every player one full arc milestone, which is a major milestone in any character's career in Star Trek Adventures. It's a big deal. And I also awarded
Captain
the
Sage.
already. So the Admiral Sage by next episode.
I just skipped all the other rings.
So I also awarded the Sally Ride to. I upgraded the Sally Ride considerably. This episode, as some of y'all may know, is called the Refit. So this is to reflect the changes that the Sally Ride is going through, as well as you look confuzzled.
Rue was already fit.
Okay, never mind. I'll retitle the episode. Sorry, guys. Just scratch that. So I have awarded the USS Sally Ride 2 points to thank you. 2 points to distribute between two things. Sally Ride gets 2 points to put anywhere in her crew and 2 points to put anywhere in her systems. So that is a lot. That is big for Star Trek Adventures. But the truth is, not when you consider that we haven't actually leveled up the Sally Ride in like 14 games. It's been a lot of. You guys have finished almost like half a season and haven't had any advancement. So it was long overdue. So I feel like it's appropriate, narratively speaking, to start juicing up the Sally and her crew
Or security.
to reflect what they've been through.
So sorry. Did you say we're maxed on engineering? Because I only have us at a 3, which would now be a 4.
We moved one in our last upgrade.
Can you
I just took a screenshot of the digital ship sheet that I've been keeping throughout the game, and
Sure.
I'm about to put it in chat. We got this. It'll show up on your phones in a quick map.
Handy. Handy dandy.
I
just want to check my numbers.
Sam is our Shipapedia.
Well, the XO.
XO IRL.
XO's got
I know what I'm good at.
Shipapedia.
So,
Okay, I'm done.
let's go ahead and launch into a recap.
Okay.
I'm going to be hard on you guys because last game was so easy. You guys had such a breeze last game. I'm going to have to get serious.
Oh, he's
now.
being sarcastic.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic. Last game was rough.
Good makeup on today. Don't make me cry it off.
Oh,
I was about to say, I still haven't had my breakdown.
So, let's go ahead and
happening?
jump
I need to
into
go-
tonight's episode.
I need to go to counseling.
So the crew of the Sally Ride has had to confront a pretty strange reality of missing out on an entire year and a half of galactic movement, politics, and action. A year and a half spent in a stasis on Narendra Station out in the Shackleton Expanse, which is far from Federation territory. You are out behind the Klingon Empire and near the Romulan Star Empire, and then the edge of the galaxy, and that's it. This is the other side of the quadrant. Being away from your families and your home world has been hard enough. Now to learn that the passage of time, a year and a half has flown by in just what to y'all would have actually been about 24 to 48 hours for y'all that stayed on Narendra Station, and slightly more time for those who went to the G2 planet. It's taken a lot of adjustments, and this has brought a lot of really harsh revelations. Some good things, some bad. The good things is that things seem to be smoothed out completely between the Klingon Empire and the Federation. The Kittimer Accords has been once again reestablished, and the friendship between the two governments has never been stronger, as it has to be, because the bad news is you're in a state of war with the Dominion and its new Cardassian vassal state. What's worse is y'all are losing, and not even by a little bit. The losses the Federation has taken, the opening gambit of this war, has been devastating. An entire fleet has nearly been completely wiped out, with only 14 ships surviving. It's a bit shocking to hear this kind of news. Before, there was always the looming threat of war. To find out, it's like waking up in the middle of World War II, essentially. This is not the relief you were looking for after leaving the Klingon War, which was almost a year long. The other flip side to that, though, is your friend, once known as Tolash, and now walking by his real name, Kolar, has been given command of Narendra Station and the Klingon forces on it, and sharing that command with Admiral April Hebert. General Kargan, who was once in charge of the Klingon forces, has gotten his wish and is being moved to the front, where he can fight and, in his case, hopefully die with honor. It's the Dominion War. That's probably going to happen. There's going to be a lot of opportunities. What you guys are hearing about the Jem'Hadar is it would be like fighting. See, Klingons fight for honor and glory and want to die that way. But the Jem'Hadar, victory is life. And the fanaticism in which they attack the Federation is a whole new level of bad that the galaxy hasn't seen before. The shipyards, the cloning facilities for the Jem'Hadar, they make them... It is a tidal wave of bad headed towards the Federation. To make matters worse, even though the quadrant is at stake, the Romulans have signed a non-aggression pact and have decided to stay out of the war. They're hanging back. It is not gone unnoticed how devastating this is going to be to the Alliance. And the Romulans are playing a dangerous game, but the Romulans are well known for seeing 100 moves ahead, so maybe they think they know something. So, that brings us to where you are all at on Narendra Station. A little over a week had passed since coming out of the stasis and trying to get back into normality, when the USS Kitty Hawk, a Refit Excelsior-class starship, arrived with supplies, personnel, equipment for refit for the Sally Ride, along with an old face, Admiral Norwell Nash, Vice Admiral Norwell Nash, who arrived and made a few stunning announcements. One, that he is stepping down from Starfleet. He is resigning his commission after he returns to Earth. And two, he brought with him top secret information that he was not authorized to share with you, but as a Vice Admiral, he can pull strings. And that was the big revelation of last game, that Citrian 7 One of Sally Ride, the first encounter the USS Sally Ride had with this strange anomaly known as the Pull, destroyed both the planet and the moon that it was orbiting. Yet the intelligence reports, including the sensor readings and everything, show a pristine-looking planet with its moon still in orbit. And that apparently this information was captured only a few months ago. Federation has not sent any science teams out there to investigate. Why? Because they got bigger fish to fry right now. Unfortunately, you guys are on the other side of the damn galaxy, so you can't go check it out right now either, especially because of your new assignment. Instead of being pulled into the war, the Sally Ride is being refit and upgraded, and is going to be left as the sole Federation starship presiding over the Shackleton Expanse. The devastations to the fleet back in the Alpha Quadrant have made this Narendra station, they cannot afford to just leave it alone. And it just made sense logistically to keep you all out here. A science vessel, upgrade you, have you be the eyes and ears of what's going on in Shackleton, and then pull unnecessary personnel to the front where they're needed most. That being said, the USS Dauntless has been called home. So with that, a lot of ships have been departing into Klingon space, making a long trek back to the areas in which they are most needed. Yeah, you got that, trek. Where we begin is shortly after, I would say it's been about a day since the dinner, in which, so it's been a day since the revelations you've all had about both your genetic background between Talon and Lark, as well as the message Lark found of her mother. That she never knew this whole time was in a hidden compartment inside that Bajoran earring. It's just little chips staged right inside what looked like a little opal that just kind of folded open, and there was a chip inside with the message. So tonight is going to be a little different, and I'll give you guys heads up about this now. There's probably going to be some time jumps in between, because this is going to be the episode where the Sally Ride is refit. Now, to refit a starship is not something like changing tires.
One does not simply.
One does not simply refit a starship. So to give you at home an idea of what's going on, the crew elected to, one of the traits that they were allowed to purchase for the USS Sally Ride, they selected a blade of armor. So this little Intrepid class is getting beefed up big time. So a blade of plated armor is being attached to the hull of the USS Sally Ride. She's going to look the same with a slightly different pigment to the hull coloring, a little bit darker, and that hull is going to be tough as nails now. Blade of armor is what they put on the USS Defiant to keep it going when it's getting smacked around. So the Sally Ride is now officially swinging above her weight class, which she'll need if she's the only ship out here. Now, Jiv, in all honesty, is thrilled with this. And he's made this known because one of Jiv's focuses is metallurgy. And so along with the upgrades that's coming along, plus the engineering staff that you guys have also managed to get, you've got a few more engineering crew members, a few more veterans have joined the crew from the Kitty Hawk and have been acclimating into the crew. And Jiv has assigned them all as like department heads here and there, like all throughout engineering, and is coordinating their efforts, making damn sure that they know they take their orders from Chief Mala Ren.
As they should.
Yeah. Which they all fall in line easily. But what Jiv, Mala, Jiv is very happy.
I know.
He's organizing a huge experienced engineering department in the belly of the Sally Ride now, and they are moving like clockwork.
Yeah.
He has this down to a science now, and the Sally Ride's refit is already slightly ahead of schedule. Jiv himself has been putting on suits and going out into space and welding and attaching a blade of armor. You're pretty sure you've heard him singing in his helmet.
Oh, he's so cute when he's happy.
Yeah, he is literally just like,
How many times has he thrown up when he came back inside?
He hasn't thrown up yet.
Good.
He hasn't thrown up yet. He has not been great. He comes back inside and is like, oh, but I mean, he's been spending so much time outside walking in the vacuum that he's actually starting to get used to the weightlessness.
Yeah. Filled with some kind of a youthful vigor.
Could be that some kind of mystical thing happened to him at some point in his past that suddenly gave him some newfound constitution.
Fancy that.
all of this has been taking place to also give you guys heads up. While this has been happening with the personnel on board, the USS Kitty Hawk is still stationed in the Shackleton Expanse until this is over. The Kitty Hawk was scheduled to leave. I believe it was leaving last episode. So we're going to do a little bit of a retcon because the Kitty Hawk has to stay here while the refit is finishing. So Kitty Hawk has remained in dock. Yes, that means Admiral Nash is still here. You do not see him anywhere on the Ranger Station. Nash is not leaving the Kitty Hawk. He's mostly confined himself to the Kitty Hawk.
Small mercies.
And hasn't been speaking to too many people yet. And as time has passed, things on the station, despite the chaos in the galaxy, seem oddly calm again. And that seems to be a characteristic of Narendra Station. Starbase 364 seems to be this place where when the rest of the house is burning down, this place seems to be okay. And then when the rest of the galaxy is okay, this place seems to be burning down. It just so happens that there's a lot more activity coming and going with people docked from the Kitty Hawk, all the refit that's taking place. There's a lot more activity on the main promenade. And this is all just apparent in the past 24 hours. And that's where we're going to begin. Early morning we've never done this before, with everyone waking up for their duty shifts. Early morning, the events of the past year and a half, month, week, whatever it is to you, fresh on your minds. We begin the day with a briefing in the officers' lounge with Captain Martinez, who's just finished hearing. We'll say, Rue, you've just finished giving your report as he's looking at this piece of paper next to the data pad, and nodding along as you kind of give the status of crew members, along with this crew member reported in sick, had a sprained ankle, is going to be back on duty in 3 hours or so. Like all of these little housekeeping, basically. When you're done, there's a moment of silence that falls over everybody. And Martinez sets the paper down and says, I never realized how much I missed hearing things like sprained ankle and just the little things in the duty report. It's kind of a nice feeling.
We'll have to have more meetings then, sir.
Well, as you all know, we're still stuck here, so you have your assignments, and we are under orders from Admiral Hebert to take some time off still to make sure we meet our quota for our shore leave hours. But I have been given permission that you can all piecemeal those out if you wish, so you don't have to constantly be off duty. If you want to do a little here, a little there, you're more than welcome to. But she has promised me that she is checking our transporter logs and ship logs to ensure that we are not spending any more time on the Sally Ride than we absolutely have to. So with that, I guess y'all are all dismissed unless there's anything else.
To clarify, are we off duty right now?
Right now, technically, you're on duty. But when he dismisses you, if you don't have anything pressing, the Sally Ride is being refit. So,
sorry. Yes.
Yeah. So you can go off duty. It's short. It's like an informal shore leave, essentially. But they're tracking the hours. They're not letting you work more than a few hours a day. Yeah.
Had it up to here with shore leave.
I know. Yeah. Well, that's actually why it's being forced on you all.
Every time
because if you think about it,
we haven't had shore leave.
If you think about it, y'all had like 3 days of shore leave before all hell broke loose. Then there was a time jump, and now you're back. You guys did not complete your shore leave.
I was having a lovely and productive time. There was intimidation. There was hand-to-hand combat. I don't understand what the problem is.
This crew has not.
That's how you spend your shore leave. Then.
Yeah.
I mean,
but this crew has not met the requirements of a crew that needs to decompress and step away from duty for a while. Because even when you're off duty,
I did have a Mall-O-Ren last time, so I had a great shore leave.
That's a shore leave in a glass. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I had a great shore leave.
There's a cocktail using Mall-O-Ren champagne called the shore leave.
There should be. Actually, that's right.
Let's do it.
Oh!
I'll be drunk on that too.
Okay, I'm gonna make it.
We need a little shore leave.
Oh, by the way, before we move on, I did find an ingredients list for all of the drinks that were made at Star Trek Experience. So we can now make our rockachinos that we had at the start of Vegas
The warp core.
and the warp core breach.
Oh boy, y'all!
Which
the
warp core breaches will mess you up.
Do not drink it alone. Have at least 2 other people.
Warp core
help
breach
you.
will mess you up.
It's that bad.
Wait, help you drink it
And
or help
good.
you after because you're
Both.
gonna.
Yes.
Okay.
Societies exist to rehabilitate.
My mom tried to drink it by herself, and it was bad.
Yeah.
Like wheelchair bad.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
Well, then, you'll be fine, Sam.
Yeah, you're already.
Well, you know what I mean? But like she couldn't walk after. We were like, well, my mom's down. She tried to drink it by herself.
We've got a Gordon down.
I always wondered how it happened.
It was the warp core breach. No, but it was pretty funny to watch her try. They're huge. They're huge.
They
They're
are.
like they're giant. They're fish bowls.
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh.
And they smoke.
Goodness.
Yeah, that sounds like a warp
And they're
breach.
blue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we're going off duty.
Sorry.
Which is fine.
But speaking of shore leave
Yeah.
and being hyper distracted, I only have crew chat open because I was looking at ship stats. But our captain just sent us the "in case you miss it" of certain fan art. I saw it. So Hector is with us in spirit, and we all love your art so much. Special shout out
Yes.
to
Oh my gosh.
M. Haratz, who is blowing all of our minds constantly.
Yes.
And from arts.
What? I love it.
The mala came out.
The Moloch
Moloch
is finished. It's finished.
It's good.
It's
y'all.
amazing.
Save it.
looks like my face.
Save it. Save it.
We'll squeeb at it over break.
Squeeb at it over break.
I'll just say,
Okay.
Hi, actor.
I apologize in advance for all the y'alls
We
I'll
miss
be
you.
saying since I just came back from Louisiana and my accent slightly came back.
I'm from South Texas.
Oh
yeah.
Look, y'all.
A
So
slight twang to Lark Sage might happen.
So getting back into it, so the crew, you guys have been given shore leave. So as Martinez dismisses everybody, you find yourselves in the very awkward position of having nothing to do. Stepping out of the ready room, Martinez steps out of the lounge and goes straight for his ready room to begin a long period of going. He's got to go through so much duty. I mean, think of it this way: it's a year and a half of duty roster reports that he has to organize and change. And while that's not a ton of in-depth work, it's a lot of menial work that he's got to do as captain. So he's going through that right now. He's tanking that for you, Rue.
Thank you, Captain.
So we have one of those moments. I love this moment in Star Trek 4 where the crew is just kind of standing around looking at each other, not knowing where to go. It's kind of where the bridge crew of the Sally Ride finds themselves standing outside the officers' lounge after everything that's happened in the past 48 hours alone. All you hear is the dim hum of the Sally Ride, who's still powered up in dock. The vague chirping sounds of a sensor suite that is occasionally pinging out into deep space, and the peaceful silence of an empty bridge.
So shore leave.
Again.
Yes?
Was that a question, Doctor?
Oh, I thought these two said something.
What plans do you have for shore leave, Doctor?
Did the Admiral say she was going to check if we were on the ship?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I guess we should get off the ship.
Yes.
Anybody want to come to the bar with me?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, okay. Doctor? I guess I have a lot of research I'd like to get back to, but we're not allowed on the ship. Yeah. Maybe if we make a public display of trying, we can sneak back on the ship later.
You could also transfer some of that data to the station and do it there. They'll probably never know.
Want to offload some stuff onto data pads and bring it with you to the bar?
Yes, I would love to. I thought I would get caught. Okay, yes, let's do this.
Caught with what, Doctor? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Shore leave!
Let's go to the bar. That was not Lark saying that.
man.
That's just
Here
me
we go.
going to
Alright.
the bar in my brain.
Lieutenant Commander?
I suppose so.
Okay.
Great. Excellent. Be there.
All right.
Do you need help?
putting things?
Oh, I have my own file naming conventions, but thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so you're all headed to Narendra Station, the bar?
Yeah.
When you all arrive, it is looking quite different than it was when you last left it, because not only have there been more personnel added to the station itself and personnel pulled out as well, but you're also noting there's a lot more civilian activity taking place on the main promenade. And indeed, as you are walking towards the large open space of the promenade, you can see outside the windows that are gazing out over the Shackleton Expanse, there are civilian transports arriving. Some of them look like they're Federation or human, build Federation civilian transports, but you're also seeing some waiting for docking procedures out in the background. It's possible that these are more engineers arriving to help get Narendra Station online, but there's just a lot more traffic than you were all expecting outside. And there's a din of noise inside the main area here on the promenade. You hear a lot of people laughing, and one of the bartenders, the Saurian, is up on one of the tables and saying things to a large crowd of gathered people who are shouting out things to him. And as y'all are all approaching, you hear what he's actually doing is he's like, "No, that's terrible. We need something better, something better. The last resort." And you hear some people kind of like, you're like grumbling and like, "That's great," and people disagreeing. And after a few moments, as you approach, you spot right away, by the way, at the edge of the crowd, the very obvious blue head of Lynn Zadis as he's on the edge of the crowd shouting out things to the Saurian as well. Seems to be in good spirits as you're all approaching this crowd, but it looks like this is only taking place on one side of the bar. There are 2 active bartenders right now. This bar, of course, is very large. It's about 30 to 35 feet in length, and it covers most of the back end of the bar and then large tables out around the front. So, as y'all are approaching, what would you like to do?
Looks like they're naming the bar.
Oh. Did it not have a name?
The bar.
I guess that's true. That's what I called it.
Looks like not many Sally Ride crew members offering suggestions, and mostly look like civilians and Narendra staff to me. Let it be known that if any of our crew have the name that's chosen, they will get the opportunity to miss compliance checks for 2 weeks.
Ox crew, please submit your suggestions for the name of the bar on Narendra Station.
Yes.
Wait, I have a list when we were of really bad names that I just come up with all the time.
Oh yeah, you should fill
That
this.
had nothing to do with this.
Throw those up on the Discord chat to let our Ox crew see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want any compliance checks.
As we approach the bar, this is my first time back on the station. All of our first time, really, since everything went down, or first relaxing time. And I'm being very quiet because I'm here and I'm not wearing the suit, but like I'm really scared people are gonna stare, and I'm just sort of feeling generally uncomfortable. But like, just manifesting it as wallfloweriness.
Okay.
All right. So what does everyone want? I gotta know the bartender. I'll go get it. Mala has been super helpful the last day. Like, overly helpful.
I don't like what Shoreleaf does to people.
I look straight at the commander.
Not so much shore leave as it is other things.
I'm actually not really thirsty. I'll just
Water.
wash.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not thirsty either.
Okay.
We're all at this bar because our
Commander?
shore leave is obligatory, isn't it? Yeah, water.
Doctor?
Tea?
What kind?
What kind is good?
English breakfast is what
English
Mr.
breakfast.
the drink.
Okay. 3 waters and an English breakfast.
Is that a recommendation?
All right.
All right.
What?
Man?
You're headed to the bar.
Yeah. The Mr. the Master.
Ah, yes, you
The
were
Q
frozen.
one. Yeah.
Yes.
So as Mala heads to the bar, what is the rest of y'all? Are y'all getting a table? What are y'all doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably looking for a table.
All right, it's not hard to find one. As I said, the middle part, this bar area is in fact quite large with a lot of scattering of tables for personnel. It is a little tricky to hear. It's not alpha party bad, but it's still pretty bad. It's pretty loud in here, so it's hard to hear exactly what's going on, even though you guys are about 40 to 45 feet away. And then taking your seat, you watch the form of Mala approach the bar, and the exchange that she appears to have with the bartender, they definitely seem familiar with each other. Are you ordering what I think you're ordering?
No.
Oh man.
You don't drink a Mala Ren when you're emotional.
Okay, that's fair. Hashtag that.
And then become emotional.
All right, so you return a few moments later with drinks, setting them down on the table. Lots of really just hardcore glasses of water.
Yeah. And one
ching.
excellent pot of tea.
Yes.
I didn't know how much you wanted, so I just bought the whole thing. Thank you.
Yeah.
I purposely sit to where my back is facing the crowd, so someone doesn't see me.
Okay.
I have bad news about your hair.
Well, I'm doing my best. I'm also wearing a hood and a disguise.
Sage has object permanence things. If I don't see Zadis.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm
not
going
taken
through
that
a
approach.
phase. I dyed my hair.
There was the dramatic suggestion.
I'm sitting very much open,
I have bangs now.
watching.
All right. You're watching. Are you watching him specifically, or are you just watching?
Sort of. You know the thing where you're just kind of like, I hope they make eye contact. I hope they make eye contact.
Sometimes it
make eye
feels
contact.
like-
Make eye contact.
All right.
And then
I think you just lost a star. Did you just lose a star?
It was beautiful. It fluttered off your face.
You are.
Aw, you're crying star.
So
I can't tell. Which one is it?
I think it's
No.
on the right side.
So many.
Zadis doesn't appear to be facing you. He seems pretty engrossed with what's
Yeah.
going on. But I will say the thing you notice about Zadis is he seems to be a little peppier than you last saw him.
Good.
He's not as energetic as the crowd per se, but he is contributing to some of the names that's being shouted out.
I'm just sitting there quietly, but under my breath you can hear me say, the Soda Shack, the Nebula Nook, and just like going through different really bad ideas that they could be shouting out, but they're not.
So a few awkward moments pass with all of y'all sitting at the table with your waters and your tea. Rue, as you're kind of glancing at your crew members, you do catch the form of somebody approaching the table who apparently has spotted you. And I'll let you decide how you feel about this, of course. You see the form of a very familiar Ferengi who owns a shop here on the promenade, striding up with a large gate and comes right up to the table and goes, "What was the last one you said?"
The Nebula Nook?
That's the one. Mind if I use that?
Go ahead.
Thank you. 2% off next time you're in my store. And
2%. That is not very large of a discount.
it's better than 100%. No, it's
No,
better
it's
than it's better than no percent. 100% the price, but now I'm giving her 2% off.
Intellectual property licensing. There's a fairly large cut to that, isn't there, Commander?
I believe so.
Careful, Commander. You're very good
stand
at
up.
what you do. You stand up.
10%.
He puts his hands huffy like on his waist and says, "Are you posturing to me? You may be hot stuff when it comes to keeping station security, but when it comes to bargaining, you're no Ferengi."
She says 10.
10%?
Why 10%?
Does. Took 10% of my brain power to come up with it.
She's feeling generous. She should take 70%.
I could have offered nothing.
True.
could've
And I
gotten
could
nothing.
say, fine, then don't use the Nebula Nook.
Seems reasonable to me.
You see his lip go up and says, "Fine." And he pivots and walks towards the crowd.
Which version of fine do you think he meant?
We'll find out if the bar's called the Nebula Nook.
I was going to say, we'll know if we'll hear it.
I'm actually going to keep an ear out.
Okay. It's very difficult to discern anything, but it doesn't look like he's contributing. It looks like he just kind of moves over to the crowd and begins to watch. But every now and then he kind of glances back petulantly at all of you and then just kind of looks away.
Yeah. I just do jazz hands.
Okay. Unless there's any scene in particular the characters need to have, this is pretty much the awkward quiet of shore leave. Not really. The Sally Ride, y'all have become very accustomed to the lifestyle of being what it's like on board the science vessel Sally Ride and all the things that you've all been through. And what you're all slowly starting to discover, much to Tristan's dismay, is that none of you really know how to be off duty. Save perhaps Mala, but that's because you fell into it.
Yeah. So it's fairly loud here. Do I see anyone nearby?
I would say about 20 feet away from the tables where the line of the crowd starts, and then other than that, it's just a scattering of people all throughout the tables, but nothing else really happening.
All right, I will lean into the table, look at my crew. I know that a lot of us got bad news after we got out of the temporal lock. I'm going to start looking into gathering information, if I can, for our crew about family members, people who are close to us out there. If there are any names, I can't guarantee that I can look them up, but I'm going to use every resource at my disposal to try.
If you need help, Commander, I would be more than happy to.
Same.
I definitely think I could make use of you. I spend an extra second looking at Sage.
I don't make eye contact. I'm still listening for Nebula Nook.
After a few moments pass, the Saurian says, all right, that's enough. We'll take the suggestions that you've all given us, and we'll compile them, and we'll select the best one, and the winner will have free drinks on the house for the rest of the week. And you hear a lot of people just whispering like, holy shit.
What day of the week is it right now?
It would technically be a Tuesday, so to speak. That's
a decent chunk of the week.
No, it's not bad. That's for especially for those who are going to be on shore leave. So the people of the Sally Ride interested in this.
This is their chance.
Yeah. So
It's pretty good.
people begin to. So the crowd kind of begins to disperse after that point, and things sort of return to normal around here. But again, once the large crowd is kind of dispersed and the restaurant area has kind of fallen back into its normal round of activity, it's still a little more active than it normally is. But again, at the end of it, after a few moments pass, you're once again left with that strange silence and directionlessness. Nothing is happening under Ranger Station. Everything is very normal. People are coming and going. You're watching some maintenance crews work together. They seem to get the job done, close up a panel, move away. The holosuite looks like it's booked up for the day, so people are not going in or going out. A couple of people are having conversations on sofas, looking out over the Shackleton Expanse. Brug has got some business coming into his station, into his shop. Turbolift seem to be operating at normal efficiency. You can see the Sally Ride outside the window getting her new coat of paint, which is kind of a nice look. There is, of course, off in the distance, still the occasional piece of debris from Cavort-class Klingon warship floating out there. Catches the sunlight and then disappears back into the black of space, almost like it was never there. And the silence will just kind of stretch on as all of y'all sit at this table.
Galaxy Grove. That would have been a good one, too. So, that's the only thing that's keeping Lark from...
Going crazy?
Yep.
Perhaps a name
Alliteration.
Perhaps a name that signifies the temporal lock that it was in. That may be appropriate. I can't think of one.
Sorry. Just thought beer of tomorrow, but... I didn't say it because it was bad, okay?
But then you did.
But then I did, because I like some people just want to watch the world burn.
That would be exciting. I'm fine. Rue actually is a little twitchy.
Okay. Yeah. Talon, I imagine you're probably the most someone who is ritualistically constantly training themselves to sit still. You're beginning to get a good look at your crew members and how they react to having nothing to do. Thorlo, your data pads are on the table. It would be an interesting science experiment to see how long you can go without touching them, much like a cell phone at the table.
I already gave up and started miming them earlier, but I keep awkwardly putting them back down because no one else is doing anything.
So unless there's anything else, this scene stretches on unbearably long until finally excuses are made as to what everyone really should be doing right now with their time. Oh, maybe I could go check this out. And after a while, unless there's anything y'all want to do, everyone disperses from the table, kind of quietly going off to their own pursuits, if they have any agendas.
Doctor, before you go, can I walk with you?
Sure.
Okay. You've read my file, right?
Yes. Are we in motion? Is that?
I imagine this is a
unless
walk and
anybody's
talk.
gonna, you guys can bookmark this and tell me what you're going. But we're right now where it's breaking up. It's been about an hour and a half since y'all sat down and y'all have broken up, and now I've moved off.
Has the commander or the captain informed you of the past 24 hours?
I've heard. You delivered a document to us all, right?
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you. I'm confident, so is the commander, that things are hopeful. Possibly. But that's not what I'm. Have you ever experienced or know of a way?
Is this about what Jenny said?
Jenny?
About your mind?
Oh, I was gonna say the Rocococo, they said something to me. They said they could sense my psychic potential, but I don't have any anymore, so I don't know if that's something that maybe isn't gone completely, and have you ever heard of someone being able to turn that back on, or I don't know.
A lot of things have happened that no one has been prepared for.
Right.
Isn't that what, when Jenny said you left something with her, I thought she was talking about...
Oh.
reaching out with your mind.
I didn't even think of that. I thought she meant the music.
Oh!
But maybe.
Is it... I'm sorry, the field of psychic research is a little bit outside my normal area of medical expertise, but I'm fascinated. There have to be examples. Have you noticed anything different? Is there anything different about your behavior?
No, not at all. It was just sort of a hope.
It's part of who you are. There's no reason it couldn't change, right?
I don't know.
Have you... We haven't had a chance to talk about this, but... Was your specific situation of empathic focus always the case?
No. No, I used to be able to connect. Then something happened and I couldn't anymore. So,
A very ill-timed chirp comes across your communicator.
Oh, sorry. Yes?
Mala, you hear Jiv's voice.
Yeah.
Mala, they're trying to turn the Sally into a warship. Can you get back here?
What?
I need you back here. Is the commander with you?
No.
I'm sorry. Hold on one second. No, you're not. You wait. You wait. I'm talking to my XO about this. I'm talking to my chief about this. Mala, can you get back here?
Yeah. Just, yeah, I'll be there in a second. Tell them not to touch anything until I get there, and we can both yell at them.
You heard the lady, and you hear it chirp off. Moments later, Rue, wherever you're headed, you hear the chirp. Commander Rue, this is Jiv.
Go ahead.
I might need you back on the ship for a moment. Or at least someone to yell at somebody for me.
Understood.
I'm in main engineering right now. No, scratch that. We're headed towards the torpedo bay. Could you meet us in the torpedo bay?
I'll be right over.
Thanks, Commander. No, I said you wait. And then you hear it chirp off.
Later?
Yes,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. Thanks. I gotta go yell at someone. Hang on.
Mala,
Yeah.
thanks for the music.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay. All right.
You arrive in the torpedo bay about the same time that your XO is arriving in the torpedo bay. And you see Jiv is still in his environmental suit with his helmet in his hand. You've seen this, you've heard of the stereotypical Tellarite.
Yeah.
You've never seen Jiv really go full Tellarite before. But
Never go full.
But the profanity that's coming out of his mouth is not becoming of a Starfleet officer. It's very becoming of a Tellarite. And you can see he's biting back a lot of it, but he's very angry. And there's this.
Don't worry, I'm enlisted. I got your back.
There's a commander who he's talking to, a superior officer who's got his arms folded and doesn't look offended at all. He's just kind of nodding. You also know from Tellarite culture that Jiv is actually not being in Tellarite culture. Jiv isn't being rude.
No.
He's actually being straight with this guy.
Yeah.
And it looks like this commander understands who he's talking to because he's nodding. It's a young man, about 6 feet tall or so. He's a ginger. He's got some lines on his face. Maybe he's a.
Am I related to him too?
Maybe he's a vet. Maybe he's a vet of Starfleet. Perhaps he looks like he's seen some years on him. And he's sitting there and just patiently nodding to Jiv as you both approach.
What colors is he in?
He's in command red, and he's got a data pad in his hand. You see there's an engineering crew behind him. They've all stopped work and they're just waiting as they're filling this out. And as you two approach, he turns and says, "Oh, Commander Rue."
What seems to be the problem, officer?
Commander Michaels. It's a pleasure to meet you. I've heard a lot about you. I'm a big fan of your work.
Have I heard of him at all?
I'm sorry?
Have I heard of him
Michaels,
at all?
no. You've never heard of him.
Interesting.
I'm the new quartermaster here on Narendra Station, and I've been ordered to load your torpedo bays with these new weapons, as well as reconfigure your torpedo bays to be able to fire them.
That seems like a poor use of torpedoes. Who so ordered?
That would be Admiral April Hebert.
Huh. Was there any justification included in that paperwork?
Only that Vice Admiral Nash brought them with him from Starfleet HQ with the orders to supply a ship with them, and this is their destination.
Well, yes, I suppose we are the only Starfleet ship that will be remaining here, aren't we?
I haven't heard yet, sir, but I would not be surprised. Shiv goes, "They're using this to turn us into a damn warship. It's just like it was before they sent us here. It's just like it was before they sent us here. It's finally catching up to us. Nash ran interference as long as he could, and now Starfleet's stepping in and trying to turn us into a floating gun."
We already had torpedoes. Shiv, having better ones isn't going to change anything, particularly given the tactical doctrine we use vis-a-vis torpedoes.
The Commander Michaels turns and looks at him and says, "That was my point. We're trying to make you better equipped to deal in case you encounter any Dominion ships out here, and photon torpedoes are not going to do it anymore. You should feel lucky that you're getting this round of upgrades." And he passes him off the data pad, and Jiv looks at it and says, "This is going to require calibration every time we use them. This is going to slow us down." And the commander says, "It won't slow you down. These torpedoes hit twice as hard."
I want to take Shiv aside for a moment.
I stay put. I in this die.
Jiv hands him back the data pad as he follows you. The commander takes it and looks at you and says, he hands you, I guess you're the chief engineer, you should have that as well as as much as he can. You see, as Rue and Jiv go aside, you see on the data pad a full complement of the new quantum torpedoes. A new torpedo that Starfleet has started using. They're not in full production yet to be used on starships, but the new Sovereign class has been using them. I'll give you the stats real quick.
Please do.
Quantum torpedoes, they are long range, just like most torpedoes.
Yep.
Their base damage is 4, and they have vicious 1.
Okay.
They're also high yield, just like photon torpedoes. So they're vicious 1 with high yield. These torpedoes are brutal. They will smash through a ship's hull and destroy everything in its path.
Jesus.
Long range, base damage 4, vicious 1 with high yield.
Yep. They do. They also, unfortunately, Jiv was correct. They come with calibration as a trait as well, which means this weapon requires careful calibration before firing. The weapon cannot be used to attack unless a prepare minor action is performed during the same turn. So you basically have to ready, aim, fire these things. But once they hit, man, do they hit. Quantum torpedoes were developed, Rue, you would know this too. Quantum torpedoes were developed, went into development after the Borg encounter at Wolf 359. These are supposed to be the next generation of weapons to protect the Federation from big bads. And the Sally Ride all of your photon torpedoes are currently being offloaded the ship right now. And are being used to supply the torpedo launchers on the Ranger Station, which were empty up until this point. So it's going to have... the commander looks at you and says, I'm following orders, ma'am.
Yeah. You're new, but I've been chief of this ship a lot longer than you have.
How long you been in Starfleet?
It's been a lot of years. But that's not what we're talking about today. So just sit there, shut up.
You see a few of the officers kind of look at him as you tell a superior officer to shut up, and he just goes, yes, ma'am.
I hope I was
Thank
in
you.
range so
I hope
that you
you
can
heard that.
feel my pride coming off of me.
Yeah. Because I'm getting a little chameleon residual energy from Jiv and you right
It's
now.
kinda like-
Yeah.
So I'm a little
So you pull Jiv
defiant
aside
today.
and he's like, I know I can't stop this from happening. It's just, this is exactly what we didn't want. Isn't this, Martinez is going to find out about this. He's going to raise hell.
Then he is welcome to do it, but you're familiar with our previous tactical doctrine on torpedoes. Shiv, you remember what it was?
Yeah.
Didn't use them because they weren't worth it.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem.
How do you feel as an engineer of torpedoes taking up space, taking up mass on your ship that we're not even using?
Well, that's frustrating, yeah, but the thing is, Commander, photon torpedoes, they're the workhorse, I get it. The thing is, these weapons, this is top shelf Starfleet weaponry. I mean, this is a weapon we'll be tempted to use for sure when our back's against the wall. And maybe that's a stupid reason for not wanting them on board. I don't like it. I just don't like it. The ablative armor, I can get behind that. We've seen what a hull breach did to this ship, and I don't want to see it happen again. I know I'm trying to think of it that way with these torpedoes, but...
What's really bothering you about it?
I don't like war, Commander. It's taken a lot from my family, and it's taken a lot from a lot of families. I don't like war, and now the war is on the ship. I'll help him load him up.
Where did you serve during the Cardassian Federation War, Viv? We've both been in the service that long.
I was a lieutenant back then. I had just gotten my lieutenant's pip. He tugs at his beard a little bit, and he's like, "It's what you think it is."
Viv, I'm going to ask you a favor.
I'm going to not crack a joke about that.
Smart.
What's your favor?
These torpedoes are given to us by Vice Admiral Nash. I have had a professional history with the Admiral such that...
Yeah, we know. No offense, Commander. The crew knows. And just so you know, crew's not a fan either.
I don't need anybody to dislike him on my behalf, surely, but refusing his professional courtesies would be difficult.
Yeah.
Please try to be polite about it.
He offered me commander again.
As he bloody well should. I hope you took it.
I thought I was retiring. I thought this was our last go. I mean, the only reason why I stayed on board, in full honesty, Commander, off the record, I didn't want to leave Mala. She's a damn fine engineer, but she wasn't sure of herself at the time. If you guys didn't have me around, you wouldn't notice. She's that good, and I think you agree. I was just sticking around until I felt like I could take the training wheels off, so to speak. Not that she was wearing them, but you know what I'm saying. Anyway, after the shit she's done, pardon my vulgarity, Commander, but after the shit she's done, especially sticking her head in an isolytic warhead, I don't know if I could have done that.
So clearly we need both of you. That's what I'm understanding. We are way out in the middle of nowhere, Jiv. There aren't a lot of engineers out here at all. Certainly not many of the caliber of you and the Chief. We're the only ship with any weight worth punching out on patrol here, and I remember last time we were in a fight. I remember what our engineering team did to help us live through it. I'm gonna be honest. We need you and your engineering team just as much as we need my security kids. You are keeping this crew alive.
Damn, you're good at this.
They gave me commander too once.
Yeah. Did you hear why they gave me commander? No, you haven't heard anything yet, did you? Apparently in the year and a half that passed, well, it was a little incriminating when the whole Duros thing started going down on Narendra. And guess who it got traced back to? Son of a bitch who got me put on court-martial and demoted.
Funny that.
So I'm not being promoted. I'm being offered my original post back with a full apology from the president.
Push for back pay.
All right, I'll load up these torpedoes.
Appreciate it, Chef.
Now I gotta go make sure Mala doesn't eat this guy's face. Excuse me.
Faces are a good source of protein.
Don't tell her that. I like how we're suddenly turning Mala into this face eater. It's just ridiculous. You hear that as Jiv is approaching you.
So we're eating the face?
No, we're not eating a face. Go
We're
ahead.
cooperating.
You got the staff to do this, and
cooperating.
Commander says, yes, sir, we do. We can load these up. It won't be any detriment to your crew. However, we're going to need your engineering team to help us modify the torpedo bay. And Jiv says, I'll do that.
We'll do that.
You're not allowed to do that.
What?
You're not allowed to do that. I got an order that says...
Why not?
You're supposed to be on shore leave. That's what you get for being a hero.
Talk about how you managed to continue working the system to keep working on this ship.
Well, when you get a full presidential apology, you can start asking for things.
Like back pay.
I got a story to tell you later.
Fine.
Get out of here. Thanks for showing up.
Yeah, please call me anytime. Look back at Michael's. You got lucky. Walk away.
How are
Don't
you
be
doing,
nice
Chief?
to him, I whispered to Shiv on the way out.
Michael's...
Go relax or something.
Okay. Michael's looks back at you and says, "Sir, I'll have these loaded up before the end of the day. And modifications to the torpedo bay will probably take about 4 or 5 days." Shiv says, 2 days.
I trust your numbers, Shiv.
Betty does it in 1.5.
All right. As you're exiting as you pass, you can see there's a lot of activity going on outside the windows of the Sally Ride, and you can see a lot of like shuttlecraft coming and going, a lot of supplies being loaded into Sally Ride shuttle bay, and a lot of these are rack upon rack upon rack of quantum torpedoes. They're being delivered into the shuttle bay area. It is a little unusual to see Sally being loaded up with state-of-the-art warheads. But, as you so adequately put it, Commander, nothing's really changing. They just do the job a little bit better.
Mala feels through doing some kind of puzzle in their head that she would probably recognize as, okay, new tactical doctrine.
Yeah.
And under that, there's a fairly unfamiliar butterfly flutter.
A little excitement to see what these things can do, perhaps?
It might be that it is non-specific.
Are these new toys tickling your fancy, Commander?
Well, we'll have to see whether they do the job, I suppose. How was the doctor?
Fine. How do you mean? I'm really distracted today.
What's going on?
Oh, no, just, why not? I've been talking to Tristan, thank you again, Commander, for that. I'm exercising parts of myself that I haven't in a long time, and I'm just seeing where that takes me.
What, like glutes?
Does a brain have glutes?
Brain glutes.
I found my brain can be a bit of an ass sometimes. And I look off to the fellow in the corner.
You hear Dryden's voice in your mind saying, "Is that humility I'm hearing?"
I could crutch my own mind.
Rue begins to engage in that fantasy of smashing a crutch.
And Mala probably picks up a bit. Some conflict and a little spike of frustration.
It's okay. A lot of people zone out when I'm talking to them. It happens a lot.
I can't really imagine.
Yeah.
I personally have a great experience of having other people along with me in my head.
Wait, what?
Rue taps their crutch against their leg. You can hear a metal on metal noise.
Huh.
That's why I'm worried about the doctor. She's been avoiding me. So,
Oh. She's kind of been avoiding everyone since she became a new lovely shade.
I think it looks good on her.
I do too. It really brings out her cheekbones, but...
Well, but I suppose since when has that ever... We develop our own insecurities regardless of anything, but...
That we do.
I suppose if she's not talking to you or anyone else, I'll have to...
Well, I kind of forced her to let me be her little project for a bit. So maybe that'll...
I've come back to my quarters on the station, and I'm like, locked the door and then research hole for the record, just to paint in that bit. Continue.
So when you're just to bookmark that, when you approach your quarters, just to bookmark it real quick. When you approach your quarters, you find Matazi's pressing the button as you're approaching.
Shit. Okay, never mind. The rest of that didn't happen. Continue your conversation.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So we'll bookmark that when this is over.
Okay. I guess I'll have more information about the doctor in a few minutes. Do you think this counts as shore leave? It's work, but it's not my work.
I am in charge of the duty rosters. I don't recall any sort of doctor's projects on your docket, Chief. It might be work for the doctor, though.
Not if it's fun.
You and I, of all people, both know that work and fun are hardly exclusive.
Mala sort of wrinkles her nose at that.
You know the strangest thing I've experienced in the past year on this ship? Hearing some truly unalloyed praise from Shiv. It was for you.
He gets complimenty when he's overworked.
I happen to share the opinion. I'm not overworked. You've done very well here.
Thanks. I know I can sometimes get a little excited or the opposite, and sometimes things don't go as planned. And, but, you know.
No plan survives contact with the engineering team.
Nice.
I do love what I do, Commander. And I am good at it.
Well, I'm glad you know that at least about yourself. No insecurities there. It's good luck. I'll see you later. More shore leave.
Wow. Another scene between Mala and Rue. That's two scenes between you two. Amazing.
Now we just gotta
Scoot a little closer.
never.
So as this is going on, it's a quick moment, but as you approach your quarters, Throlo, Matazi sees
I'm desperately excited to get away from where anyone can see me and just lock myself in this room. And what happens?
Matazi turns around and says, "Oh, Doctor!" And he's a stack of data pads. And he says, I know how you go crazy, so I brought you all of my work.
You're the best nurse in the history of nurse. Yep, okay. Mm-hmm.
Can you hold that?
Yep, got it.
Okay.
Oh, you're quite tall.
Yes, I've been told. If you need me, I'm going to also try to find something to do with myself now.
You have to relax.
Yes, I need to try to remind myself what that is exactly. But I've managed to schedule some holodeck time 3 weeks from now, so...
Wonder if we can bump up the roster. I hear they have a new Cation grooming scenario. It sounds good. I don't have fur, but...
Interesting. I shall look into that. I'm around if you need me.
Excellent.
And he
Don't
kind
be
of
too available.
off duty, kind of succumbing to the Cation politeness. He bows to you, and then
I try to bow without dropping things.
you see a cat grin on his face as he kind of turns and moves away. About the same time this is happening, Talon, you are approached by Dorothy Baker.
Yay!
So Talon, you have kind of found yourself a nice quiet section of the main promenade area to sort of sit down and be alone, having no problems at all, sitting still and just being?
Yeah, I'm just, I'm doing a meditation called noticing and just looking at what's around me and taking it in and dipping into, watch, kind of people watching, but also just noticing what I notice and letting things come to me. So,
Okay, so Lieutenant Baker approaches you, and you see her wave to a few people of the Sally Ride as she's walking up, and she steps up and says, "Am I bothering you?"
No, not at all.
I just wanted to share this with you real quick, but it looks like the sensor suite for Narendra Station is coming online to full power. And it has advanced telescopic sensors that can peer into the next neighboring star systems. So starting tomorrow afternoon, I've been ordered to give a wide sweep, just sort of like like looking out of a telescope to see what's out there kind of thing. And I was wondering if you could help, if that would be okay. I thought it might be something you would find agreeable.
Yes, of course, I would.
You're not going to believe this. Some of the gravitational anomalies in the Shackleton Expanse have disappeared. They've just gone.
I suppose that should not be surprising since their nature was already very intermittent and hard to predict, but that is a bit surprising.
Yeah, the law of averages, it should not happen unless something's changed. It shouldn't be all at once like this. So, anyway, this will be a nice way of finding out what's changed in my section of space while I have been away. I'll send you the details on your data pad, and thank you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Baker.
I am really looking forward to this.
As am I.
One last thing. Up until this point, I've kind of just been a liaison on Sally Ride, and I was thinking about asking for an official transfer. Would that be acceptable? And is it something I could use your name as a recommendation for? Unless you don't think I deserve it, in which case I completely understand. I understand that not only does a Vulcan have to have very high standards of those who work under their department, but also the Sally Ride is kind of becoming known as being that deep space exploration vessel that everyone kind of wants to get in with, and it's kind of a prestigious thing, and I've only mostly served on star bases. But I think I would be a tremendous asset, to be quite blunt.
I think your record and your level of work and detail would be a perfect complement to my science department.
You do notice the jaw clench as she is trying to not kind of... You've seen Mala do this a few times where they're trying not to express incandescent joy around authority, so she just kind of... Thank you.
So yes, I encourage you to put in your request for a transfer to the Sally Ride.
Thank you, ma'am. I will do that. I will do that today.
And I will be sure to put in my own personal recommendation as well.
I really look forward to working with you. More. Okay. Thank you, Commander.
You're welcome.
And she steps away. There's a little bit of an obvious pep in her step as she tries to move off. The newest incoming crew member to the USS Sally Ride officially joining the roster. She kind of skips off. Unless there's anything else, we're going to start doing some time jumps here as the refit gets underway. So do you want to just give me a blanket overview of what Lark is doing? Are you just trying to keep your head low and trying to sort of normalize things a bit?
Lark?
Because it's just to give you an idea, the idea is that we're going to jump a month.
Oh!
There's going to be a month lapse here.
Okay.
Where the Sally Ride is undergoing a lot, because putting on a new skin on the Sally Ride and updating her weapon systems and getting new crew in there, that's going to take some time. So y'all are going to be in Narendra for a full month of in-game time.
Holy.
So there's going to be a time elapse. We're going to jump.
Okay. Oh, God.
So I'm basically bringing this up because I want you to set this up like, think of it, what would your montage look like? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is your character going to be working on over the course of the next few weeks? What do you see them just kind of focusing on and trying to do?
Before we jump, Lark sends another hail to Linzanis, which
He
has not. Oh, thank God. He answers? Oh, crap. I was not expecting that.
I confess that I did that in middle school. Called
Wait.
a girl.
What?
She answered. I freaked out and hung up.
Are you serious?
Yes, freaked out and hung up. She gave me her number too.
Yes.
I didn't even ask for it. She just gave me her
really
number. I freaked out and hung up.
That girl, if you're watching,
It happens.
text
Oh,
her.
shoot. I wasn't expecting an answer.
Oh, we ended up dating in the end.
Oh,
She dumped me after a week, but it was still great. It's a great story.
Middle school, yeah.
It's middle
This is a
school.
roller coaster. I was not prepared.
Now you understand why I run the games I run.
Wait, I don't want him to answer. This is how it's going to end.
So
Don't say that.
yeah, Zadis, you hear the chirping sound as you hail, and you hear, this is Lynn Zadis.
Hi.
There's a moment of long silence for a second, and then, hey, Lark? Are you okay?
No.
Where are you?
I was heading to my quarters. We need to talk, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where do you want me to meet you?
I don't care.
I was gonna crack a joke. I was gonna say Earth, but that's not really it. That's like a bajillion miles away.
But just
It would have been funnier.
no, just come to my quarters.
Okay, I'll be there in a second.
Thanks.
The awkward conversation comes to an end.
Yep.
And so about 20 minutes pass as you're kind of in your quarters and you hear the chirp at the door.
Come in.
Door opens and Lynn walks in. He's got something in his hand as he strides into the room and he just looks around and says, "Hi."
Hi. First off, I'm sorry about. I guess it doesn't matter. It was like what, a year and a half ago, or something.
Oh,
But
no, I should not have put you on the spot like
No.
that. That was all me.
you
and
didn't put me on the spot.
I just
and-
straight up kind of threw that at you in the middle of a big crowd in front of your friends. That was really selfish, and I shouldn't have done that. And I'm really sorry. That there's always a better time to do stuff like that. I did not pick it.
Well,
It's totally fine. I hope my vanishing act has had nothing to do with you. I want you to know that. I mean, I was kind of in that, oh, poor me mode, and I just went and hid under a rock for a while. So just, not metaphorically, but, and then a lot of other stuff started happening, and
yeah, I can relate. You're the only one that knows, and I need to tell someone else. I should just. I think they're really dead. And I never found them. I was too late. I was too late.
Whoa, wait, your parents?
Yes,
How do you, wait, why do you think they're dead?
they're all dead. They're all wiped out. The Maquis, they're all just wiped out.
Where did you hear that?
From Admiral Nash.
Admiral Nash told you the Maquis were wiped out?
Yeah, they're wiped out. They're just gone. And
How's that possible?
I don't know. A lot's happened, Lynn. It's been a year. This was stupid. I shouldn't have even been on the Sally Ride. I should have just gone looking by myself or something. And now I know my name. I have a clue, and it's too late. She just curls in a ball. She just falls into a ball. Kind of the same ball he was in when she found him.
He sets the item down on the table, and much like you did, sits on the floor next to you, and is just quiet for a moment.
I don't even want anyone to call me by my real name, because every time I hear it, I just think that's just something else that I've lost. Oh yeah, and I'm related to Talon. That's weird.
What?
Yeah, that's kind of cool actually, but I feel like I should tell her. Because I guess my parents are her family too, and she lost them too, and she doesn't even know, and... I don't know what to do.
Wow, that is a lot that's happened.
Maybe they were captured. Maybe they're captured by Starfleet or prisoners of war somewhere else. But I don't know. I can't find them. I don't know. I've looked on the records. I can't hack anything. I can't focus. I can't do anything. I can come up with really good names for a bar, but that's about it. The Nebula Nook was a good one.
Wow, that is a good one.
I know. I'm not even gonna get Timberson off.
Bark.
I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. We still don't know where they are, and we still need to find them.
I spent my whole life thinking that they were dead, and then I find out that they're alive, and then now they could be dead again, and I can't go through it all again. I just want to know.
All right. Then I say, let's pull some rank and find out. Like, for real. That's what I was going to show you. And he reaches back and he opens up this black box, and you see 3 pips. And he's like, they've made me chief engineer of Narendra Station. And I accept it.
Congratulations.
I'm going to use this to help you.
Okay.
We're going to find them.
You know, I could have just bypassed all of that and been chief anyway. But I didn't yet. I didn't do that yet. I feel like I've bent so many rules, you know? I didn't want to do it again. I wanted to do something that maybe my real parents could have been proud of. And I kind of want to find them the right way, you know? But I don't even know if they can be found anymore.
Well, the first thing we should do is we should reference anybody who's been taken captive. If what you're saying, maybe they've been captured. Maybe the Federation captured them. I don't know. If they were fleeing, I mean, it's... To be blunt, the Maquis weren't exactly easy to find, Sage. They're pretty good at slipping away.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So when they say they've been wiped out, could they really know? Their whole existence was not getting spotted, being spread out. I'm sure we can find out something. Look, I walked away from Starfleet once before. I'm not scared of losing my job again. I don't give a damn. I say, let's use 3 pips to find out exactly what the hell happened.
Maybe if my mom is anything like me, maybe she could fly really, really fast.
All right. Thank you for telling me all that. And I'm going to help you because you helped me. I mean, I feel like I got my family back, so now we're going to get yours back. He leans over at the same time. You two hold each other like you once did during a very difficult time in Zadis's life. We have to go to break.
No, wait! Oh no!
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Cool.
So.
I need a candy bar.
So we'll come back. The Sally Ride's refits will be coming to. We'll do a few more scenes when we come back, but the Sally Ride will be getting underway. So stay tuned, and we're going to actually get out of Narendra Station coming up pretty soon. Finally.
Oh,
No.
cool.
Sound good? All right. So we'll see you guys back here in about 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back in from the break, everybody. Lisa's going to be joining here in just a second. And while we're about to get started, I was remiss. Apparently, there's also an episode of Gina Loses Their Shit. Yes. Yes, indeed.
I'm enthusiastic.
I was remiss. So before we jump back into the game, I'm going to take this over here.
Yeah, how is it?
I understand now how you feel.
It's happy and grumpy and happy.
Heavy.
It is heavy. I already know what it is. It's cracking me up.
Oh.
Why? What do you mean?
Open
It's a
it.
warp core.
Oh. Is it a
behind
warp core
that.
breach?
Oh
It just
no.
spills out like.
Oh my gosh.
Once more, dear friends, unto the breach.
Get angry, Gina. Tear that thing open.
Oh.
What do we got?
Because you need them.
So many
Is that not like a 20-pound bag of D20s?
That is a heavy.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. But,
Okay.
Thank you.
They're so pretty.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I know those. Those are good.
These are
beautiful.
gorgeous. Oh, there's so many.
Oh, they're so colorful too.
Oh,
Oh, they glow.
yay.
Crew, I'm real proud of you.
And also beautiful, beautiful, beautiful bag to put them in.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa, that's a really nice
It
bag.
is
nice.
gorgeous.
Nice bag.
Do we have a card?
It's a gift. Here's some new dice to go with your new bag.
Piperson is the quartermaster of the USS Sally Ride.
Yes. Thank you.
Oh,
right.
thank you. I needed that. Thanks, guys.
There's so many possibilities of not complications.
I know.
Roll one.
I gotta roll one.
We're gonna need a bigger dice
doing
jail.
dice hunting at WonderCon to like restock Gina, but there weren't a lot of dice at WonderCon. So the fact that there are now makes me so happy.
Oh, I like this
So
one.
happy.
This one.
All right.
Oh wait,
Call it
no.
out. See what you get.
Wait. Okay, I grabbed this one, and I'm gonna do two. I'm gonna do teal. Wait. Help me find a teal.
There's a you gotta try this one. Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, you're right. Okay, I take it back. Okay.
Pretty good.
Technically successful past both times.
Application.
The Amy reaction of, okay. Those are dice.
No, I still would have passed that.
All right. So, we'll go ahead and coming back from break now. So we are going to jump back into the game. Coming back, we are cutting to the Sally Ride, USS Sally Ride, fully refit, completely restocked with her new crew in orbit over the planet of Strethia.
I did know that was happening, but it still makes us happy.
Yeah.
It's been about a month since the refit. Since the refit began, and it's only been a few weeks since Sally Ride left dock. And one of the first places you decided that Martinez agreed with everybody on to take the Sally Ride was into orbit to Strethia to check in with the civilization that you all discovered there. Here's what you've learned. Since you were last at Strethia, almost nothing has changed here. There is still a very large Trillium D deposit underneath the geothermal crack in the crust where the plant was located. But there has been no Romulan activity. And Strethia actually was ecstatic to find the Sally Ride in orbit again, as they had lost all contact with Narendra Station and the Federation. So for a year and a half, Strethia had been operating in the dark. They had no idea, and they don't have interstellar travel yet. They're just interplanetary. So
They must think we're jerks.
arriving at Strethia and informing the president of basically what happened has kind of left them all dumbstruck, because the president has never heard of anything like that happening.
Sorry, we ghosted you.
Yeah. When you talk about temporal disturbances and chronotons, he's listening, and his scientists are listening with rapt fascination. But by the time you guys have all spent about 2 or 3 days, I would say, acclimating and checking in on Strethia and also looking at their progress. They are Strethia, I believe we did note that they were warp capable now. Mm-hmm. So they haven't done any interstellar travel in the year and a half. They've only done minor jumps, with inter-system jumps. So they've traveled interplanetary in their own system.
They're just testing the waters.
Well, the president would probably tell you that they are actually... There's a lot of people in Strethia who are who the Romulan encounter has made them very wary of venturing outside their solar system in fear of attracting attention. Because the Trillium D, the first contact team, which, by the way, spent a year and a half on the planet, if you remember correctly, they are also very excited to see you all, because for a year and a half, they thought the Federation had just forgotten about them. There was no contact. Yeah. So the Federation team that was stationed here in Strethia has been completely cut off.
Because we on Narendra never got the chance to tell home. So when they came out to see what was going on with us, they didn't know there was anyone there.
Yep.
Correct. Wow. So they're ecstatic. However, they're fine.
Yeah.
They basically tell you they've learned so much about the culture. They have huge status reports to give. They've basically integrated into the culture. They've learned a lot. What you discover is that Strethia resembles a lot of early 21st century Earth in its mentality. Not in its toxicity necessarily, but definitely in its... Like, they have media programs and news organizations and sporting events. Yes, like this is a full-fledged.
I was also thinking about the sports. I don't know why. We just really want sports updates.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's plenty of sports to be had. There's been a lot of unusual weather patterns that they've been tracking, but for the most part, Strethia has been just moving on. They've made very minor advances in warp technology. The minor advances has been at the behest of the first contact team that has been here working with them. The technology, even though the tech that the Federation team has had at their disposal, it hasn't been as integrated because there hasn't been as enough of it. There's only the knowledge of the tech. So Strethia and the Federation presence here has been getting along great, but there's a lot to unpack. And what you learn is that there's been no Romulan activity. There's been no return, at least that they've documented. There's been no sort of seismic events have all returned to normal. Nothing unusual. It's been very quiet on Strethia. Aside from the fact that the populace is excited in a buzz when you all arrive in orbit again. Mandatory, the Federation officers that were stationed here are being requested to return to Narendra Station for relief and are going to be replaced by a new station staff.
Your turn for shore leave.
Your time for shore leave. I know, it's like the dreaded thing now, shore leave.
Get some life balance, all of our characters, come on.
So that being said, a lot of the civilian ships have been conscripted, so to speak, to shuttle back and forth. And to get the one shuttle, we would say one ship in particular has been sent to pick up the Federation staff and bring them back to Narendra, so the Sally doesn't have to do it. As y'all are in orbit, the president's on the view screen right now as Martinez is leaning back in the captain's chair. And the president just says, "It was very good to see you all again. What is your next stop, Captain? Please, you know that you are welcome to Strethia anytime. Anytime." And Martinez nods and just says, "Well, thank you, President. Is it Mr. President, or is it?" And he says, "No."
I lean over and whisper "Mix" into his ear.
And he goes, Mix. What is it? Mix President. And it says, and the president nods and says, "Yes, not a problem at all. We had our own issues when referring to your Federation team when they first arrived. You will be happy to know, though, that they are all now going by Mix as well. It made things easier." And Martinez just nods and says, "All right. Well, thank you very much. And the next time we are graced with shore leave, we'll probably skip staying on board Narendra and come visit you here in Strethia. Your crew is more than welcome. Until the next time, clear skies, as they say."
Clear waters.
You see this big smile come across the dolphin-like face of the president as the view screen cuts off. And Martinez says, "Ensign, take us out of the system. Full impulse."
Yes, sir.
Well, Commander, you have the bridge. I'm going to go look at our reviews. Looks like we're going to start our war patrol pretty soon.
Hi, Captain. I have the bridge.
We're going to make sure that this is as scientific a war patrol as possible.
Yes, sir.
when you get a chance, notify Talon to set up some long-range probes. Let's cast a wide net and see what's out there. Let's really explore this expanse while we can.
Aye, sir.
All right, you have the bridge. He stands up and moves into his ready room. Sage, you take the USS Sally Ride out of. You take her out of the system.
Do I have to roll for that?
Nah.
Okay.
Once you get outside the system, currently on shift, you see Dorothy Baker. Talon is downstairs. She's down below decks in the research lab. She's downstairs in the kitchen, but you notice that Lieutenant Baker is currently on shifts, and she's typing in and just.
Lieutenant, where are we going next on our ore patrol? That I'm sure has no scientific value whatsoever.
The lieutenant kind of smiles and says, probes should be ready in the next few minutes, Commander. And
All right. Have the science and engineering teams ready to release probes.
Aye, Commander. And Dorothy, she just kind of looks up and looks to see if anybody's looking, and she meets your eyes, Sage, and she's just like... Dorothy is the newest member of the USS Sally Ride. Her transfer having been approved, Talon has been letting her with sort of the... Martinez is on board with this. It was as much Martinez's idea as it was Talon's. But Talon has been utilizing her time in the research, basically working hands-on with the sensor suite at the base level for the Sally Ride. So if you think about it, think of it like Talon is the telescope and Dorothy is the telescope lens. So Dorothy is up on the bridge right now, basically coordinating with the research station down and below the decks.
We are very thankful she lends us a hand.
Yeah. So Dorothy types in a few commands and says, "Probe's ready. Firing at your command."
Release on my mark. Mark.
You see on the view screen, and you see these probes launch out into deep space, and about 2 or 3 kilometers away from the saucer section of the ship, they break off. And a third, and you watch them jump to warp. And
Our net has been cast.
all right, I'm gonna roll science because now you guys are getting sensor data coming back immediately from. Let's pull up Dorothy's sheet.
Can I roll for Sally?
Yes, please roll for Sally.
My new dice?
Woo! With your new dice and our
Show
new
new
stats.
dice, yeah. Here we go.
And our new Sally stats.
Look at that
That have
rainbow.
not changed the science.
I know.
Because our science is pretty much maxed.
Oh.
I made a rainbow.
We're real good.
All right.
I love you.
Love you.
Oh, I finally get to roll science dice. I'm so used to rolling Shiv's dice. All right, here we go. So
There's the teal.
I'm gonna set the difficulty for this at 0 because so this is gonna be a momentum build roll, and it's also to see what you got out there. This is gonna be one of those rolls where you're gonna want to burn momentum to ask questions about what you spot.
Cool.
So we shall begin. Let's see. So this is gonna be for Dorothy. This is gonna be a reason science check, and I'm giving her focus because she's got a frick ton of focuses to help her here.
She's super useful to have out on a
She
deep
is.
space mission.
Woohoo.
So let's go ahead and make this. So Sally's going to be rolling her science. And,
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. But you said that was sort of swag, so I'm going to guess that your dice are doing well for you.
Maybe.
So what do you want?
So proud of you, Erica.
But that's all of my business.
Okay,
Now we have the counterpart doing the captain did that.
I got 2 successes for Dorothy.
This is great. Such a perfect turnaround from assuming it failed.
Let's go.
What'd you get?
I mean, 1 success.
Does the ship have focuses?
I'm only allowed to roll 1.
The ship rolls as if it has a focus every time.
And this is science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you
Oh, then that's a crit?
crit. So 2
You have
successes.
more reason for swag than you thought.
I crit!
Engaged Kermit meme. Okay, so that's 2, so that's 4 successes.
All right.
Go ahead and chalk up double
then-
momentum.
We have
All right.
things.
I went on Drive-Thru RPG because they had this really nifty thing, they have a star system and planet maker table
Yep.
that literally lets you generate instant planets and star systems. So I have no idea what you guys discovered.
What?
Let's find out.
That's
Let's
so
go crazy.
neat.
I'm just holding
Let's
my
find
puppy.
out. Let's see if there's a
waiting
story
for
out there.
words.
All right. Roll a
Yeah,
d20. Okay. Oh, wow.
What did we discover?
How many? 8. So 3. Okay. So the first thing Sally Ride detects about 6 light years from here is long-range sensors through the probe. After about an hour of travel time, the probe starts bringing back information. One of the probes begins to bring back information of systems and anomalies it's passed by. It passes by a Class 3 comet. It also detects one of the gravitational anomalies. It is very small in scale, but Lieutenant Baker immediately maps that. And as she's like recording the information, you hear her just kind of, she's looking back and forth and comparing it with her old star charts, and she's like, well, what do you know? The universe moves, apparently, in the course of a year. I'm going to have to revise all the star charts. I honestly thought I had accommodated for a lot of this celestial shifting, but I guess when there's gravitational anomalies everywhere, it kind of does what it wants to do.
Nations are never perfect. I guess we just have to get you more data.
More data. And she says, interesting. Looks like the probe passes by a trinary system. One of the stars is in the middle of its death cycle. It is a collapsing red giant. And the planets in the system range from all over. None of the planets that are in the system seem to be capable of supporting life. Most of them are gas giants.
Okay.
But it looks like that actually in the next 20 years, it's actually quite the find. Because in the next 20 years is when Dorothy is able to, I should start calling her Lieutenant Baker. Lieutenant Baker is estimating the simulations going across the data stream of the computer. She's able to estimate that in the next 20 years, that red giant's going to collapse. So you're actually 20 years away from a very rare event that the Federation will be able to record and witness. Cool. A trinary star system with a red giant in the midst of collapse. Going to be a hell of a light show when that happens.
Ooh, let's stay. 20 years isn't. We just find another time bubble.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
She's
Just
like,
kidding.
Lieutenant Baker just goes, I am gonna have to come back. To write that down in my journal. More data coming in from the second probe. Second probe detects 2 more gravitational anomalies. Both anomalies are about a light year or so apart from each other. So that's not unusual. A little closer than they normally are. But aside from that, all it's detecting is various trace particles in space. Nothing unusual. It detects a few loose fragments, rocks and whatnot that are floating loose, but nothing spectacular. The third probe, however, brings back some very interesting news. And
Well,
you
don't bury
see,
the lead, Lieutenant.
what's that?
Don't bury the lead, Lieutenant.
Yeah, she smiles. I am going to put a cost on this one, though. Dorothy Baker is going to spend 2 momentum to get information.
Does she count as a science officer right now?
She
For
does.
the obtain information thing?
Yeah, so she get okay. So then she would only spend 1 to get two answers.
Done.
Yep.
She goes, oh my, look at this. And you see she brings up on the screen, just as Martinez walks out of his ready room and says, what do we have?
About to find out, sir.
Lieutenant Baker just says, a single main sequence star. I'm getting visuals back from the probe. And she brings it up on screen. You see a beautiful, distant blue star. Like a big sapphire in the middle of space, glowing. She says, probe is detecting 3 objects in the system. One looks like a micro dwarf planet. The other one looks like a Class M planet. And the third, she brings it up on screen. You see in the data, it comes up kind of like the old images of telescopic like photographs so they're not quite clear. Like, remember what Pluto looked like when we first took pictures of it in the 1990s? It was just kind of a pixelated black dot, or like white dot. It's sort of that grain quality as it's being scanned from light years away. But it's enough that you can see it looks like floating out away from any orbits of the planet somewhere deep in the system. What looks like some kind of weird L-shaped contraption. It looks like it's the shape of an L with maybe a line going through it. The first thing you notice when you look at it is it looks like a classical way of drawing the number 7. Except it looks like... The first thing that comes to your mind is there's no way it's natural.
Well, a Class M planet and a seemingly artificially constructed object. I think something about discovering and seeking out new life is in our purview, is it not?
Lieutenant Baker looks at all of you and says, I would agree with that. Commander, yes.
Captain, I think it's important to know about all potential life forms within our tactical purview. Wouldn't you agree, sir?
Captain says, well, Martinez kind of leans back and says, I would agree with that, Commander. I would think that it's been a long time since we've been allowed to be a science vessel.
Oh. Perish the thought, sir. Patrol.
Ensign Sage, set a course. Warp 6.
Yes, sir. I'm just gonna bypass all those potholes.
Okay, takes you a few moments to plot the course. Go ahead and make a roll. Oh man, when was the last time we actually rolled to go to warp?
I'm so excited.
Are you happy, Lark?
Yeah. I get to fly. Okay.
All right, so yeah, go ahead and make your roll. So this is going to be your con check, of course. You're going to make a
control con?
Control con.
Am I doing an engine's con?
No, yours. This would be.
I'm assuming I can have a.
Or is this a sensor thing?
This would be. Yeah, I would say engine's con.
I'm assuming my helm
Yeah.
systems.
Yes,
is
absolutely.
a focus.
Yeah, you're
Cool.
Lark, yes, your focus definitely this is what you were born to do. Are you on fire right now, Gina?
4 successes.
I feel great.
Eric,
4? So 5 total?
I have 3. I got
not
1
here to
crit
see
and
it.
a success.
Oh.
And then with Sally's, it's 4 total. So we get
total.
3. So we're
So y'all are
maxed
full
out.
up on. Y'all should be maxed out. Difficulty on that was 0. So it takes you guys a few hours, and you come out of warp on the edge of the system.
Feels good to fly.
Martinez leans forward and says, "On screen." It comes up on screen, and you see again the beautiful. It's much more apparent now, but you see a blue star. Now this is a young star. It hasn't entered into its main yellow sequence yet. So it's this vibrant, like even with the filters on the view screen, it doesn't hurt to look at, of course, but just looking at the luminosity of this star, it's incredibly powerful. There are in fact 2 planets in the system. Dorothy begins to, again, Lieutenant Baker, begins to run her scan. I'm just used to calling her Dorothy because we kept making her a character and I kept calling her Dorothy. Sorry, Aki. She just looks at the computer and says, looks like it's a micro-dwarf planet, about the size of Pluto. She kind of smiles and says, for those who don't know, Pluto's, I mean, of course you know because you went to the academy, sorry. Mostly chlorine atmosphere, low gravity, no life. I'm detecting surface of canyon-like surface. Doesn't look like a lot of sunlight gets down there. I'll bring it up on screen. You see a small world that looks like a deep reddish hue, but when the planet's rotation on the other side, when it's catching the blue starlight, it glows like this vibrant purple.
Wow.
So the planet itself is like this deep reddy sort of rust color, except the other side with the sunlight it hits the clouds and the atmosphere just right to make it look like an amethyst. She says, I certainly wouldn't want to live there. Atmosphere is comprised mostly of corrosive chlorine gas. Average temperature is 1,165 degrees Celsius.
All right, we'll stick to Rise as our
Sounds
vacation
tropical.
spot. But do try to check the mineral composition on that planet. It looks like it's more than just iron going on there.
She kind of runs a quick
The
scan.
fact that gravity is sustaining any kind of atmospheres,
Let's find out
pretty nifty.
what the composition of the planet is, you guys.
What would this be?
Sorens.
Yeah.
I would say this is a momentum spend. I'm giving it to her because she's just gonna.
Yeah,
But I rolled well.
Don't take it from me.
Do a quick sensor sweep of it.
Please, just let me have
Yeah,
this.
but what if there are complications from that?
It's unremarkable. It looks like the planet is mostly made up of unremarkable ores. Lots of iron deposits,
Right.
Sorry. Okay.
copper
Put it back in
deposits.
Interesting.
She brings up the next on the view screen. You see it pop up. She's like, I have a read on that object. And she brings it up. And as it comes up, you see, at first it's difficult to notice because it's away from a lot of the planetary bodies in the system. So not a lot of light is being reflected onto it. So you see this haunting, ghostly, dark shape floating in deep space. She zooms in and changes the filter up on you can basically see the compensation on the view screen pop up, and you definitely see an artificial object. It looks like some kind of, it was either a piece of a ship or the piece of a space station, but it's debris for sure.
It has their hand hovered over shields.
Okay.
And Nala feels that they are very ready.
She says the object is about 24 kilometers long.
Smile.
Okay. She says the object is about 24 kilometers long.
Life signs?
No life signs. It looks like this has been here for a while. If I had to guess, I'd say anywhere in the vicinity of 2 to 2,500 years.
What's the object made from?
What's the composition?
She kind of
Shape thing?
What?
could be, looks like various metals comparable to what we use on our starships.
That's
From
interesting.
2,000 years ago?
And just I believe from the makeup of the fragment, it looks like it might have been the piece of a space station.
Wow.
It's my instinct.
We gotta check out that class and planet.
It's large though. The inside you could fly the Sally Ride into it. It's pretty large. Yeah. Let's put it this way. It's big enough. If it's big enough,
You should.
it's big enough the Sally Ride could fly. Like it is. So what you're seeing on the screen, you see the images, but you also see the tactical readout. Is this thing is slowly spinning in space, very slowly. But you notice that it's cylindrical. It looks like 2 cylinders branching off in like a 7 pattern. Both sides of the cylinders look like they've been sheared off because you can see debris that is stationary floating around it. And then there is what looks like another cylinder that's running kind of through the corner of the 7. So it looks like it may have been the corner of a space station that just got pulled off. She's like, I'm not reading any life, but it's old. That's an artifact out there.
Baker, you have some anthropology under you. Does that look structurally familiar compared to any designs that we've seen from Romulans, Klingons?
Anthropology is her
known?
thing.
She's real useful on Deep Space. It was a very good build. I'm very
So with the difficulty of 1, she got 2 successes. So she's going to immediately burn one of those.
Yep.
So she says, well, it's definitely alien make, but it does bear a lot of the same similarities. In all honesty, it looks like, much like the Strethians, sir, it looks much like sort of an early interstellar species, or maybe an early, if not interstellar, then at least an early planetary species.
Could it be from the class and planet nearby?
That would be my first guess. I mean, I can't think of where else this would come from, but
certainly the most, if you'll pardon me, logical. So let's take a look at the planet and see if there are any remnants, similar composition, old satellite debris.
okay. Bringing it up on the view screen. Comes up on the view screen. You see, in honor of May the 4th, you see a world that looks very much like Tatooine. It's this very large world. It's about half the size of Earth. So when I say large, I don't mean It's about, I would say it's, well, maybe not half the size of Earth. It's more like the size of Mars, so it's just slightly smaller than Earth. But you see a surface. The surface looks very arid just from looking at it from the atmosphere. And she begins to conduct her scan. This is a difficulty 1. 2. So she says, okay, Earth-like atmosphere. Gravity's a little heavier than it is on Earth by about almost a full 0.8%.
Whoa.
Days are about 32 hours long. Surface looks barren, scarred. Actually, I'm detecting... Ooh, look at this. She brings it up on the view screen. You see what looks like an arid flatland. And from the first glance, you don't have to have a lot of knowledge about geography to spot what looks like was probably once an ocean. And there's this black scar that just runs straight in a line. And she shakes her head and she's like, I've never seen anything like that before. That does not look natural at all.
And it is observable visually?
She's like, well, you can see it from orbit, but you'd have to be in close orbit.
That is interesting. Anything that happened long ago would have been buried. Sands would have covered it. Interesting that it hasn't.
I'm detecting crystallization. That black streak looks like it's been completely... I don't know how to describe this. It looks like the sand particles have been fused.
Right.
It's like it's been glassed almost.
Any high energy. It could have been an ancient war.
Yeah,
Could have been a not so ancient war. We don't really have a confirmation unless we get to the
Might be a mining site.
planet.
She says, let's see, average wind speeds are 104 kilometers an hour. So we'd have, if we send an away team down there, we're gonna have to wear enviro suits. But the average temperature is about 35 degrees Celsius. So it'll be a warm summer day if nothing else.
All right, this is the vacation planet of the bunch. I've got it.
Not detecting any life.
Any
Whole planet?
structures?
It looks like there might be, actually. I think the commander's instincts are spot on. It looks like, spend 1 momentum for this. Lieutenant Baker says, looks like there might be a structure underneath some of the sand. I'm detecting a couple of... Oh, look at this. And she brings it up on the view screen as she's kind of like, it's almost like point and dragging, rotating the planet as the sensors are kind of being able to look on the horizon. She's like, I can't get a good look out of it because of the line of sight that we have on the planet right now from this position, but it looks like there might have been a city here. And she brings it up on the sensors and you see a triangulated dot on the horizon, just coming up morning at where the spot is that she's locating.
That's where answers might be.
Lieutenant Baker just says, oh man. I mean, yes, Commander.
All right, team. Is it the space station first or the planet?
Martinez says, tell you what, why don't you take us in close and get a good scan on that space station? We'll just take a quick look, but I'm much more interested in what's going on down there because I think that's going to give us context to what's floating out here.
Aye, sir. Sage?
Don't get us too close, Ensign.
I was like, how close do you want, Captain? Inside?
This thing is huge indeed. As you bring the Sally Ride up, Sally Ride is dwarfed by this structure. It must have been a space station because it's large enough that it could probably dock to ship like the Sally Ride. Judging from the metallurgy and the decay, and every now and then when it kind of rotates, it catches a glint of the blue sun. This thing is really haunting, is the only way to describe it. The way it just kind of lumbers out in space. It's been out here for thousands of years. And from what you can tell just from looking at it, it doesn't look like any scavengers are hidden in it, but you can tell that from the rupture points, Mala, that this was either torn apart or blown apart. Whatever happened to it a long time ago. That much is obvious.
Yeah.
The inside of it is hollow. So you could, in fact, fly the Sally Ride inside, but you don't know. There's a lot of debris on the inside. Oh. But Lieutenant Baker says, it does look like there's enough space to walk around. I'm detecting rooms. Let me give you a quick look here. She's going to run a scan using the Sally Ride's amazing sensor suite.
Can I use the roll that I rolled?
If you spend a momentum. Does that defeat the purpose?
Yeah.
No.
Then yes.
Well, go for
I'll
it.
let you buy it for a momentum.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the difficulty?
2, so you get a momentum back.
Yeah.
I had a feeling.
Respect.
All right. Difficulty was 3. It's reduced to 2 because of Sally Ride. And Dorothy got 2 successes, and you got 2 successes. So.
I did.
So she brings up on the view screen
we got
what
2
looks like
momentums.
blueprints.
Oh,
She's able to really do a deep scan. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's able to do a deep scan. So you see it's like the crumbled inside of a space station. So you see rooms, hallways, what must have been living quarters. You see what looks like it could have been an arboretum at one point. Lots of free-floating debris on the inside. No energy signatures detected. No life detected. And it's completely exposed to the vacuum. So Lieutenant Baker says, an away team could put on enviro suits and just walk around inside and get a better look, if we wanted to do that, sir. And Martinez says, I'm going to let that be the commander's call. And Commander, I'll let you make the call of whether or not you think we should go there for that mission first or the planet first. This is a war patrol after all, and you have experience with that kind of thing.
Aye, sir.
Shall we wage our war against ignorance?
I think that is the war that we can all get behind.
Great. Fantastic.
All right. Before I make the call, nerds, any opinions?
Well, there's definitely some computers on that ship that we might be able to get some useful information on. We don't know if that's on the planet.
A very good point. Doctor? Benson?
what she said. I mean, if this has been out here for thousands of years, it's very interesting to see what kind of technology they had at that time. I mean, this is way advanced for being so old.
Yeah, 2,000 years and it's comparable to now. Really want to see inside of it.
Oh. But the city sounds nice too.
We're doing, Lieutenant Baker says, we're doing both, right? We're going to do both? Are we going to do both?
We have
We're
nowhere else
going
to
to
be.
do both, Lieutenant, but we're going to start with the station. Think that might be the best way to find out what happened to both places. If we can find out, it looked like it was straightforward shear force to me.
No, and if they
Maybe
have any
whatever
distress calls
created
logged or anything.
the glassing, citianization, whatever wrecked this place might have wrecked the station. So let's get a sense of the station. Could be trapped, latent security measures, so I'll need engineers to keep an eye. I know there won't be life forms aboard, but Doctor, we will be life forms and we will be aboard.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we can start at the top and work our way down
All right.
to the planet.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll bring you along and...
I can be your eyes from here.
all right, you want to stay on? Or do you want to come along?
Oh, man. She kind of says, okay, yeah, I'll come along.
There we go. All right, suits and on the transporter pad in 15 minutes.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
This is one of those moments where I hate being the captain. You see Martinez look at you and says, keep me updated.
Hard knock life, sir.
I'm gonna just say, like, I am under the impression that I've been very normal lately, but I haven't been sleeping so much, and
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I'm covering for it just fine, and that I'm behaving perfectly normally. But it's like
I sense your fatigue.
a little bit of sparkle
Thank
in the
you.
eyes that hasn't maybe been there lately.
Okay.
My fatigue too. I haven't slept much either.
The fatigue club.
Bet
Molly's been drinking a lot of coffee.
I got a really good value that's
Rue sleeps.
After a couple days of
I just
moping.
get the residual fatigue.
That's real.
It's rough.
Man. Psychic life, am I right?
Right?
I've had a
I need
month.
to understand it.
I know.
I'm looking it up. I'm doing so much research. I have a list of 8 things I've spent the last month. It's fine. Let's do
Thank you
this mission.
so much for the dullness in your eyes because of that.
When y'all are putting on your enviro suits,
Yeah.
it's starting to remind you. I'm giving this to your characters. It's starting to really remind you of why you're doing this in the first place, and brings home once again how long it's been since you've been able to explore the unknown. The first contact mission on Strethia was like you getting a taste of that again, but now here you are, encountering something completely new and alien in an unknown system that's never been charted before. So as you're slipping on your grav boots, what's up?
And we don't have to worry about the Prime Directive.
Because everyone's dead.
Well, I didn't want to mean it like in a happy way. I'm just saying I don't have to be like, okay. You know what I mean?
Good, it's dark now.
All right.
A bunch of mistakes we can't make.
All right.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm trying to, okay.
Yep.
Lieutenant Baker steps up onto the pad, and she just kind of like flexes her shoulders and says, "All right, yeah." Lieutenant Commander, can you hear me? And you hear Talon's voice through the helmet say, "Reading you fine."
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Jiv is just looking at y'all at the transporter and says, "I'm glad I'm not the one going over there." I just don't.
Don't you want to know what they built?
Yeah, sure, but I don't do so well in zero G when I'm not walking in the hull of my own starship.
It's true. It's not very good.
Yeah, that's Mala. It's ugly. Ready when you are, Commander.
Not that ugly.
All right. Fading this out.
Energizing.
Do we call him Commander now?
What's that?
Is he Commander now?
He is Commander Jiv, yes. He's wearing the 3rd pip. He is Commander Jiv. You would have been made privy to that. Remember, Seti, I got something to tell you later?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would have been made...
That was a fun conversation in which I refused to ever call him Commander, but also really, really proud, and also, yay, Jiv!
Yeah. So the first thing you all see is that glowing blue curtain parts, and you're all standing, is that, first of all, you're standing sideways. The orientation is this thing is beginning to spin. And the only reason why you know you're standing sideways is because the area you've beamed into, you can actually see a distinctive, what looks like floor area that stretches kilometers. It is immense standing inside of this station, and you can see it's literally like looking straight up miles and miles, or kilometers in this case. The size of this place is very comparable to what it might have been like if you were standing on it. Think of the size of Starbase 1. It's very comparable to the size of Starbase 1. So it's huge.
Wow.
And looking inside this big, darkened metal Goliath, you immediately begin to feel this sense of being inside the belly of a whale. Yep.
You and your whales!
I know, space whales, man. They're cool. What do you want?
Second citations showed up this episode. I am pleased.
It's Spelljammer is what did it. It wasn't Doctor Who. It was Spelljammer that did it.
Oh, dear.
If this thing is
Leviathan?
named that, yeah.
So standing inside this large area, you can see immediately there are floating in the center, like up above you, sometimes kilometers overhead. The moment you spot it, all of you, I won't make you roll for it. It's a chair. Just a chair. A metal chair that's it's very distinctively a chair.
Looks just as if designed for
It looks like
6-footish
you can,
iPad. Like,
you can tell just from looking at it. It's about, I would say, about 150 feet, like above your heads, just kind of floating listlessly and spinning slowly in space. But it's been in this position for God knows how long. But it is very clearly something that it was used to sit in. You can tell just from looking at it. The engineers especially can see its use.
It's a chair.
That is a chair.
ergonomically, what do I know about the body that chair would hold?
Ergonomically, I would say roll medicine.
Yeah.
I would say roll medicine, and you would totally be able to apply your focus of xenobiology to this.
Yes.
This is a really creative way of using medicine. So yeah, medicine and
I love it.
your
I
reason.
mean, it might be a crappy chair, but
no.
I mean, I heard
what was
nothing
the
about
difficulty?
wheels, so that is established.
Difficulty here is going to be 3.
Whew. All right. 3.
3. Okay. A
I used
species.
the momentum. I'm sorry. I forgot to.
A species is probably a little heavier than most humanoid-like creatures. but it looks like it was probably meant to accommodate creatures that were at least similar in build from what it looks like. Just that's what you can get. There is an unusual opening on the back. Like the back is opened, but that's not enough to really denote why. What?
A tail!
They could be tripedal. Could be a third leg. It's not the most common body.
Lots of debris floating in here. And there's a moment where, for a brief second, a shaft of blue sunlight streaks down into the darkness and vanishes. And you can see all of these ghosts floating, these pieces of debris, and then it's gone again.
Wanna go find a computer? Love
Okay.
to. Okay.
Y'all begin. Yeah, Dorothy pulls out her tricorder, and she attaches it firmly to the attachment on her arm so she doesn't lose it, and begins tapping away. She says, "Okay. Wow. Okay. Crit. Dorothy goes, "Oh, we're actually very close. It looks like there may be something that resembled a console about 600 meters that way."
We're obviously not gonna get any power signatures. It's 2,000 years old, right?
Right. But
We can apply
from the
some-
layout, I can hypothesize that this thing, can you see that? She's kind of
Oh,
like,
right. No. I was just thinking out loud. I wasn't like,
oh, yeah. No,
I wasn't
no.
insulting
Oh, no, it's okay.
Lieutenant Baker's intelligence.
We'll have an awkward off sometime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When the two of you compete at awkward, we all lose.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
Oh no, computers.
You guys make a very long trek through this dark metal beast. It's eerily silent as it would be in the vacuum, and you can't help but feel like you're walking through a graveyard in space. Whatever happened here was calamitous, and it was not on purpose. Maybe it was an attack, maybe it was sabotage, but something at this scale being destroyed, it must have been incredible. As you begin to approach the area, you see your first sign of the former inhabitants of the
There it
station.
is. I was like, when are we gonna hit a body?
It looks like there is a suited humanoid-looking like creature. Looks like it's an Enviro suit, very similar to what y'all are wearing, but obviously of a different make. You do see that the creature does have a tail, or at least the suit was designed to accommodate a tail. And it's floating close by to one of the stations. It looks like its arm has been impinned between a wall structure and a very heavy object that, whatever it was, you can't tell now. But this creature is pinned up against it, and it looked like it died here as you're approaching. Judging from the first thing that comes to your mind as you see this is, it doesn't look like it doesn't look like the suit decompressed when it was pinned. So it's very likely that whoever this poor creature was had to wait and wait.
What state is their body in decomposition?
What happens in space?
Well,
So,
what's that?
as soon as we see it, I want to direct Sage and Mala and Dot to start looking at the console, like trying to, and go look at the console,
yeah.
and
I'm
then
going straight for
grab
the-
Throllo
yeah.
and go over because I don't want Mala to see the dead body.
Baker is immediately like, oh my goodness. Oh, that could be one of the original. I'm detecting organic material. And she's like, can I come with you, Commander?
Yeah.
All right, so the two of
Start
you
checking
move
out
over
the
to the console.
See if you can
Yes.
juice it up.
Okay, you move over to the console. Moving over to the
Check the
essentially the
cracks.
corpse that's floating.
Yep.
So two things. First of all, the helmet, the glass of the helmet kind of only encapsulates the front part, but you notice that the helmet is slightly elongated to accommodate whatever's inside the suit. You also notice that the inside of the glass of this suit has been completely caked over. You don't know what's inside. You can't see through it.
I'm going to get Lieutenant Baker. Would, in your professional opinion, does the design of this suit render this consistent with the time frame of the building of the station, or
Oh, that's a great question. You're asking if this person belonged here.
we might not be the first to find it?
Let me see. She starts to run a skin. Difficulty, I'll
Does look
set
like
at
it
3.
would be comfortable in that chair.
Right. anatomical comparison.
Can the doctor assist?
You won't really need to.
Oh.
'Cause she dominated that role. But yeah,
Dot.
as you Dorothy begins to scan that, and she just says, judging from, oh, yes, he was part of the original staff or crew. They were. Looks like, judging from the rate of decay, oxidization from the inside of the suit, I would say that they probably died around the same time that this place suffered its calamity. This person is over 2,000 years old.
Ooh. What?
It's a space mummy.
That always ends well.
Yep.
And judging from these scans, the body on the inside is mostly intact. There's very little decay. It looks like
And
Okay, so go ahead and make your medicine scan.
Take it.
let's take a look at you.
Take a thingy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do the thing. Do the doctor thing.
Difficulty is 2.
Did reroll and try to get extra, but I got 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so juice up that momentum. So Throlo, hominid type species from the looks of it, which is unusual because it has a very elongated tail. Now that's not unheard of, but hominid, it means just from looking at the bone structure, the density of the femur, and the make of the skull and everything, it looks like this species had a lot in common with, comparatively in common with primates. It's very ape-like. But what you're detecting, too, on the inside of this is evidence of scales. So, and perhaps, even though hominid in build might have actually been more reptilian.
Dino apes. Wait, what?
Doctor, do you think there's any chance of getting some DNA?
Oh, yes.
It's been this well preserved?
Yep. This is a very well preserved... I mean, it's been trapped inside this... There's definitely going to be traces of DNA inside this place.
Fantastic.
I want to go over there.
How can I access those samples without, like, is there...
You could
We
beam,
could
you
beam it to sick bay and get it in controlled conditions, maybe?
All you have to do is tag it, and they can beam it straight to sick bay in a containment field.
I mean, last time I thought I quarantined something, it didn't work out that way, but, paid off in the long run. So...
We have the plant, now we have the lizard.
Oh. I'm slowly building.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to recover this and take a look. If it, it might represent a security risk, but we can put it in the quarantine and it's probably fine. And I could just do all the scans. It looks like it's got hominid structure. It seems almost primate-like from Earth, except it's also got some evidence of scales, which could indicate something that we would consider reptilian. It could have been an entirely different development scheme, but it resulted in roughly similar-sized beings, and we got to take a look at that planet.
Could have been related to the Saurians.
I want to point out, it's not on record either, so we've just discovered a new species. You see Dorothy's smile apparent from inside the helmet.
All right. In the spirit of Throlo's point, I haven't yet done any kind of sensing danger.
Okay.
Can I just have a feel? Take
Sure.
a look?
There's a part of me that regrets that I've instilled a sense of paranoia in you from all these years of gaming with me. but I also think that's incredibly smart. So go ahead.
It's also rude.
It's also
established
rude. It's
deep
true.
down.
It's true. It's not paranoia. We've already established this. Okay, so go ahead and make a roll. I would say the difficulty here is at 1. So
All
I would
right.
say make a command security check.
All right. Command security are both disciplines.
Oh, which one is not command? Not command.
Control?
Presence.
Control, you mean?
Presence, insight.
No, I would say. You know what? I would say insight security.
Nice.
I can use my new focus,
Oh yeah.
which is super helpful
Which I'm really happy
because I
about.
create. And so is cautious, because I need to reroll that. There we go. All right, that is 3 successes.
3. Okay.
So we get 2 back.
Yeah, get that momentum back.
Full up.
Rue, you're certain you're looking at what something it belongs in a museum. This thing is ancient, and unless the doctor's detecting any sort of microbe threat in which the transporter is going to neutralize anyway,
Right.
It doesn't look like it poses any kind of threat. Whatever's inside this thing has been dead for a long, long time.
Can I spend a momentum for obtain information to
Sure.
see if there are any other potential sources of danger and crappiness?
Sure, go ahead.
Awesome.
Spin that threat or that momentum. What you looking around? One of the things you notice as you're looking around is some of the devices that are on the suit. Checking to make sure there aren't any booby traps when the guys beam this thing over. But what you actually spot on this thing are some sensor devices that would indicate that this being, whoever they were, might have themselves been a doctor. Or at least a scientist of some kind. And that puts into context that you guys might actually be standing in a 2,000-year-old sickbay right now.
Oh, whoa.
Looks like this is a former colleague.
I'm sorry you went out this way, but it's very nice to meet you. Let's get you home.
All right, so Lieutenant Baker says, "Wow, this is why I joined." And she tags the suit. And you're, Commander Shiv? Yes, this is Commander Shiv. Commander, we have a body we need to beam back to the ship in containment field directly to sickbay. Can you alert Nurse Matazi and have that done, sir? You're beaming a corpse onto my ship. It's for science, and medicine, and history, and a lot of other things that are really important.
It's an ape.
And you hear Shiv say, "All right, you've tagged it? Yes, sir. I'll go ahead and alert Nurse Matazi. Give me a few moments and I'll beam it out."
Excellent.
I'm gonna roll for Shiv now. If I remember correctly, Shiv is very good at transporters.
Is
Yes,
Sally
he
helping
is.
with this?
What's that?
Does that? What's Sally rolling for this?
Oh, I would say roll engineering. What does she normally roll for this? Engineering and it's engines and I think it's
Computers,
computers.
sensors.
Computers
Computers.
engineering usually.
It's computer engineering.
Computing engineering.
Blank him.
It's not bad. It's just not good. I had to roll, but it's fine.
That's how much.
You just hear screaming on board the ship and the Sally Ride explodes.
What did you do?
No!
What did you do? The dino ape.
So a few moments pass. Shiv got 3 successes. No surprise. How many did you get? Any successes at all?
No, I just didn't get any.
Okay.
That was the.
So a few moments pass, and you hear Matazi come over the.
What was the difficulty on that roll?
Difficulty was 2.
Cool. So we got the last one back.
You hear Matazi come over your communicator and go, "Doctor, am I hearing this correctly? We've got an incoming patient. So to speak.
Yes.
I'll let you know what I do. I have your permission to begin a preliminary scan.
Write everything down.
Understood." And a few moments later, you see.
Check the mode of reproduction. Check what those tools do. Separate them, but carefully. The minerals in the suit. We need to know. You've got this. You've got this.
I'll let you know everything, Doctor. Meanwhile, the two of you have moved over to the computer console. It is indeed a computer console.
Yeah.
It looks smashed to hell.
Oh no.
There's burn marks you can see, but there is a section of the computer console that looks like it might be usable. It is built into the side of the wall. This is going to take a feat of engineering because
we
you're going to
can-
have to find a
yeah.
way to use a power source that you have to
That's
try
what I was
to
gonna say.
activate this thing.
If we can reroute the power from one of our tricorders into the system, maybe we can get it back on.
It is a 2,000-year-old computer.
Right behind
that
you.
has been-
Piece of cake.
All right.
We don't need our phasers.
So,
First of all,
Hey!
we
Who
don't.
needs instructions anyway?
That's right.
yes, you can totally use your value. This is kind of what Mala's really
This
good
is
at.
what I've been waiting for.
Also, question, or not question. I just want to say during that whole thing, as we were overhearing, I just want to give like a knowing smile to Mala because it sounds like the doctor's back to her old self again. It's like, oh.
Mala can definitely feel like
Yeah.
a little,
Yeah.
happy nerds.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be a rough one, y'all.
What's the difficulty?
Difficulty's going to be 5.
Oh,
Okay,
Set
well,
the
I'm
difficulty at
popping my
5.
value.
All right.
Do it.
Success.
Yeah.
Pop
So
your
I'm going
value.
to assist you, so you can do that.
Okay.
And grab momentum to get another die.
Indeed.
And I will assist.
Beautiful.
Oh, we're going to nerd out. Are you ready? Ooh, okay.
Okay.
We got this. It's
Do you want to take for cautious?
I just did.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a jerk because I haven't spent any threat in quite a while. So I'm going to burn 3 threat to raise the complication range by 3.
Oh.
By 3.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
What if
So if you
We
roll a
can
17 or better,
counterburn
it's a complication.
Even if a 17 is a success.
You shouldn't have won.
Yeah, that's success at cost.
Were you about to say stop being so confident, Gina? Is that what?
No, I was gonna say with that fabulous makeup and the stern look on your face, like
Yeah, why you gotta go and make things so
I
complicated?
know.
Is this control
Please don't sue us.
engineering? Control and engineering, right?
Yeah, control engineering.
Oh, we did the thing! We got good dice now. Yeah.
Thank you, Piper's twin.
Thank you,
good
Piper's
dice.
twins.
Okay, count.
Okay, I'm sorry.
For the record, the old dice that she was using,
Okay.
I gave her those.
Okay.
My threat machines.
So I'm assuming some focuses.
you get an automatic
I get an
crit,
automatic.
Yes, you get your
crit.
focuses because you get jury rigging.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's
So 2.
4. This is 4. What was my determination? It's a crit.
Yeah, automatic 2.
6,
6,
7,
7,
8 for me.
8.
8 successes.
Tying for the record, I think, right? Is it 8 or 9 for the record?
I think our record is still 9. We've tied
Right.
8 multiple times.
Yeah.
I think we've had a
Doesn't
couple
matter. we
Wow,
won.
Gina.
I hit things
Boom!
good.
Yes! We
Yes.
did the thing!
In an
Science the shit out of
impressive,
that computer.
in an impressive feat of engineering,
Keep those bonus momentums for.
Sage and Mala managed to jury rig a power source onto an ancient alien device that has been adrift in space for 2,000 years. You're sitting there.
What can possibly go wrong?
It's not working. It's not working, and all of a sudden,
It's working!
you see the screen begin to.
Hit each other. This is the first time Lark Sage has also been.
It is
herself.
so. It is activated. You see the lights start to. They're kind of. It's like phasing in and out as best as it can, but it is functioning.
And we're gonna get all the medical records from this computer.
We need to somehow figure out how to
Supposedly.
transfer this to the tricorder so we can bring this
Restore
back
the
on
civilization is at our disposal.
This is insane!
So on the computer console itself, you see it doesn't look like it looks. The computer readout itself and like the area for entering commands looks similar to the LCARs in that it's sort of like this flat surface, this glossed flat surface that's been crusted over through time. But the images that are underneath for the button pressing, completely alien. Completely alien.
Oh, man.
Fortunately, you have experience in alien
Thanks
UI
to-
specifically.
Yep.
So you see the computer does come on. It does have an intact screen that is
three thing
flickering,
experience.
but it is not.
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, because we did it.
At least the buttons are for our fingers this time.
Yeah.
True.
So Mala, one of the things that you and Sage would detect immediately is this thing is no longer linked to a central CPU.
Yeah.
So instead, it's going off of its own local memory, and
Yeah.
as a result of that, the best you're going to get from this thing is a quick snapshot of what this area of the ship was, and maybe who lived here. You're not sure, but it's going to take a lot of sifting through corrupted files,
Right.
and then your best bet is you can probably download the information onto the tricorder,
Yeah.
That's what I was
and then you're going to need to get it back to the Sally Ride.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, could I try and use my focus on computers to do that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll,
Okay.
Because of that outstanding roll and because of all the momentum you've got, I'll let you use momentum spins as an obtain information to download that data.
Wonderful.
So we don't even have to roll for it?
No. But you're going to have to spend 2 momentum
That's fine.
because of all the
How many did we go on?
We rolled 8
Difficulty
and
was
got
5.
1 momentum back from the cautious, so we have exactly that many as bonus to spend.
We have 3 momentum to spend as a bonus.
Okay.
We had 2 to spend as a bonus because we had these.
So you burn those 2 bonus momentum, you don't even have to touch your pool, and you basically, Bonnie, Lark just kind of, you see there's a lot of corrupted data on here, but the tricorder is able to download it and contain it. Tricorder, judging from the computers, because of your expertise in computers, these computers are definitely a little more primitive than Federation-styled computers.
Okay.
And the tricorder has gigaquads more memory than this computer system has.
Okay.
You got some homework to do.
So, that being done, you hear Matazi come on and say, "Doctor, I've managed to remove the helmet after scanning the creature. The body is mostly intact. It's in a mummified-like state, but the skin is still actually on the corpse. I'm able to get a basic makeup
Fantastic. Is it something we would consider mammalian or reptilian or a completely different
Doesn't seem to fit into any normal classifications of the animal kingdom, at least based on Terran physio. Correct. And from the looks of it, it does look like some kind of cross between hominid and reptilian.
Fascinating.
I've been able to recover a data device on the creature as well.
Is anything still functional from the tools?
I didn't want to touch it. I'm not that skilled in...
No, that's fine. I can't wait to find out.
We'll fix it.
Right.
That was me.
Any indications of lifespan or age or cause? I mean, it seems as if the...
Not yet, but the cause of death was suffocation.
Right. Not a great way to go. Lungs that we would recognize?
Lungs look somewhat similar to human lungs.
Brain?
Brain is quite large, actually. The skull is very thick as well. I would say the early ancestors of this species were probably quite warlike. Looks like it advanced and evolved in a very heavy skeletal frame. So probably used to interpersonal conflict, so to speak.
A lot of us start out that way. What?
Much like we see in Klingons. Klingons, of course, in their evolutionary tract managed to develop redundant organs over and over to accommodate for their large skeletal frames and their ability to sustain more and more damage. Mostly through their mating rituals, of course, which were one of the deadliest aspects, but that's something I can talk about another time, perhaps. No one catches Rue kind of glancing out like, wow, look at that wall.
What a lovely spike over there.
Yes.
Yeah, they play with
It's quite fascinating, Doctor. A full medical readout will be possible. We are going to be able to essentially get a full snapshot of this being and its people from 2,000 years into the future. It's quite amazing.
We gotta crack that language.
Yeah.
I'm currently applying the appropriate medical procedures in order to make sure that the body continues to remain completely preserved.
Thank you, Matazi. Excellent work as always.
Thank you, Doctor. It's quite exciting over here right now. And you hear a voice in the background say, "You call this exciting?"
Hello?
Matazi out. Like,
Matazi is poorer for the company without your doctor.
We're gonna get through to him. Give us time.
and you hear some chirping
anyone
noise
could.
as Martinez to Commander Rue.
Hi, sir. This is Commander Rue.
How's it going over there? What's the
We've
update?
recovered one body, sent it to sickbay. Matazi is doing analysis right now, and we have recovered some amount of data from what appears to be a scientific or medical location. We might be in the sick bay.
Really? Well done. Is the body recovered from the original occupants of this structure, or is it...
Preliminary examination seems to indicate that, sir. It would be easier to determine if we found more samples to correlate. If it happens that the command module was in this part of the station, that could yield a lot of data in itself. Perhaps some of the most useful, since nothing here is networked anymore.
The chairs are right.
There are
Great.
chairs.
Oh, good. Good.
I don't know why I raised my hand.
Yeah.
I look over, I'm like, yes, Ensign.
Lieutenant Baker, since we know the actual size and structure of what their body types are, could we possibly put that into your scanner and see if there's any more bodies that we could find throughout the structure?
She's like, I could try to run a scan for any more organic compounds in the station, but
that would work
that's
too.
going to take a while.
Oh,
It's a big piece of a station.
we could scan
Or
it with
ship.
Sally.
Yeah. If Sally would be willing to look for objects of roughly this mass, that
sure.
could be the best way to separate
Sally
meat
can
from
do
chaff.
that. Sally can totally do that. That's
Maybe
what she
we'll
does.
Find any surprise bodies next door?
I'll call up the
that a
bridge and order us a scan.
Okay. Could you do me a favor? Do you have Talon's character sheet over there? Did she leave it
I
there?
do, if it's all right if I go through.
Gimme.
Is it sensor security?
Always be.
What do you need?
This is going to be
Sensor
this will be
science?
sensor science,
Sensor
and
science.
it'll be reason science.
All right. Girl, you bonkers. I love it.
Are you looking at the stats now, going like, "Damn"?
What's the?
She science is like a hit thing.
Yeah,
It's
I know, I
great.
know.
I love it.
So
Do
go
we
ahead
want to
and-
take a momentum for this?
Yep.
All right.
Sure.
All right, cool.
goose
Difficulty here is going to be another whopping 5, but
down.
Sally reduces that to 4.
All right. Let's see. Do I see any values
By the way,
on
and
here?
I don't want to shock y'all, but the book does tell me I can go above 5 on difficulty. So if that day does come, don't throw things at your GM. Just saying.
It doesn't say we can't throw things at you.
Yeah, where's that in the
Where's
rule?
that?
That's a
Pieces
good
in
point,
melee a bit more than range,
Yeah, it's true.
so I won't throw things at you.
Bonnie will.
Yep. I have no shame.
All right.
I have no aim.
You better hope.
How do we feel about every way of life has logic and value? Oh, actually, we have a directive. Seek out.
Yeah.
Life.
Oh, yeah,
So I
that
would
would
like
totally-
to use that for
Okay.
Talon's determination.
Yes, you told that
To get the auto crit.
Thank
We're
you.
taking the 1 for the additional die.
Yes.
And now,
Do it.
Our
Do the
Lady
science.
of Perpetual Science will make her roll. You don't have cautious, do you? You do? Excellent. All right, that's much better. No more complication.
Yay!
So that is 4 successes plus 2 for the auto crit is total of 6 from Talon.
Y'all do
She knows
fun.
what's going on.
We get 2
So
members.
Talon, back on the Sally Ride in the research station, is able to coordinate the sensor suite on to basically using the information that she gets from Matazi. It takes about 10 minutes, which is enough time to sort of shine your flashlights around and get a better look at what you're seeing in here.
I've just been documenting anything that has language on it.
Lots
so
of
that we can
language
start
written on the
gathering-
walls?
Yeah, I'm gathering every information of the language structure.
Cool.
Yeah, get
so
the
we can-
universal translator
Yeah.
rolling.
Lieutenant Baker's right there with you.
Yeah.
Scanning everything, trying to get as much. Looks like the universal translator might be able to dissect this. It looks
Sweet.
like it might actually be translatable with
What do I find?
There are a few trace elements of organic matter located here in the station. They're all of the exact same composition, in other words, same species. But from the scans, Talon is able to determine that they're not anywhere near as in good shape. A lot of them were not in suits when the station went, apparently. So there are more life forms. None of them look like they're anywhere near as good shape. There is a few that are in suits, but judging from the way the scans come back, those suits were either ruptured at some point or the people inside just met a different fate. Essentially, after about a 10-minute scan from the Sally Ride over the course of this multiple kilometer long station piece, you begin to realize you struck pay dirt. You got the best specimen in the whole station, thanks largely to the incredible freaking rolls that you guys have been making with your momentum spins. But yes, there are other organic beings here.
Based on the data, it's logical to conclude that all of these samples are contemporaneous, and in turn contemporaneous to the destruction of the station. One says over comms to Dr. Shishiros.
So you have this information and you have the data. What's your next move?
Should we?
I'd say we've got the best of what we've come for, unless we can find any evidence of a command module. Any chance we found that in our monster scan?
Not really.
All right.
Nope.
Then I think
It must have been destroyed.
we've probably gotten as good as we can get from the initial sample. We can do a little bit of data analysis, and maybe the city will reveal something that could give us something to come back. But I think you've all got some toys you're happy with?
Yep.
All right, let's take them home and unwrap our presents.
And with that, you guys chirp on the intercom. Jiv comes on and says, "Ready to come home?
Yep, let's get out of here.
4 to beam out. Stand by."
Missed your face, Commander.
You hear a low grumble on the other end, and the 4 of y'all beam, 5 including Baker obviously, beam off of the station. And that's where we have to pause. Can
What a
you
great
believe it?
ending. That
Can
was
you
lovely.
believe it? No cliffhanger this week.
know.
You guys beam off of the station back onto the USS Sally
about to
Ride
say, wait,
with
you
a
didn't say
huge
where.
mystery in front of you
Okay.
as to
Who killed them? What did they do? When did they build it? Did it
what's on the
now we have some of
data,
the first clues.
what's with the planet, what's with the glassing. you guys have stumbled upon a jigsaw puzzle that's out here in the middle of deep space.
Let's put it together.
I love puzzles.
Yeah. All right. So with that,
Well, apparently it's a value in everything.
so well done, guys. Well done. So we won't be doing any more time jumps for now. But the next episode, we're gonna have some intercuts. I want to give you guys a chance to play out some scenes, because I know there's a lot of juicy character stuff that your characters have been wanting to get into. And I really want to see. I'm dying
We're
to
fine.
see. I am dying to see Rue and Sage finally have a one-on-one.
Eric, let's be very clear about that. That's never going to happen.
I
never
have
gonna happen.
magically
I'm in fact never
bypassed
going to
that
have a
conversation
scene with Bonnie Gordon
Over.
ever
since
again.
December.
and over.
I have bypassed that conversation.
You have run far and long, but
You have
It is 5 months.
really sat with it and not come forward. Yeah.
so that's going to be a next
evasive
episode, y'all.
actions have been.
I've been busy.
I
So-
actually have the exact amount of time that you have been shenaniganating and didn't tell me.
Shenaniganating.
So I'm going to say good night to everybody. Stay tuned for Behind the Shield, because that is coming up next, where a lot of discussion is going to be taking place about the episode you all just got a chance to watch. It's going to be on Alpha. And then later tonight, please stay around for Gather Your Party, our beloved show here on Geek and Sundry Live. Taliesin, is Taliesin out this week? I think Taliesin might be out this, but Eric is going to... He's here? He's here. Oh, damn it. I thought the poison was going to... Anyway. So stand by for Gather Your Party. They're doing fantasy tonight, which I'm super, super excited about. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, healing frequencies are closed. And in bees.